All right, good afternoon, folks out there who may be watching. Uh, yeah, today I'm going to be working on this thing, Hexa Gear Bulkarm Jungle Type from Kotobukiya. And this is kind of an experiment, because one of the main things that I've always worked on with Kotobukiya kits are their frame arms line. And while I'm generally pretty happy with the outcome, they're always never really like, super top tier models. Like I wouldn't go around recommending them to just anybody. They're usually for people who want to do some customizations and don't mind putting in a bit of extra work into their model kits, etc. But then I worked on the Super Robot Wars kits. I've done one of their Metal Gear kits a long time ago, and all of those kits were really solid. But I don't know. It's one of those weird situations where uh, I'm not 100% certain if they're one offs that I like or if there is some sort of, I don't know, problem with the frame arms line. And that may be the case. It could just be the way frame arms are designed. They're just a little bit more uh, open to interpretation, we'll say. Uh, but I'm doing this to see if there is perhaps uh, I have a bias against Koto because of the frame arm lines. I'm starting to come around on them on some of their other lines. Like I said, the Super Robot Wars stuff has always really been solid. The Metal Gear Rex I did was really solid. So we're going to see if this guy's also very solid. And maybe this will change my opinion on Kotobukiya as a whole, as a company. So, for those of you who don't know what the deal is with the Hexa Gear line of kits, from what I can tell, they're 1/24th scale military kits, or fantasy and futuristic military kits, and they're very reminiscent to me of, let's say they're like kind of really high-tech G.I. Joes. I didn't get one to go with this kit, but there's usually, like you can see here in this picture, like little pilot guys you can get and put together that go inside of them. I don't know if the little pilot guys are the same size as G.I. Joes. I don't remember what the scale of a G.I. Joe is, but these are all 1/24th scale. But you get little army guys. So this is not a mech in and of itself. This is very much a what one would call a mech suit. It's even then it's not a Gundam sized or anything like that. It's just a slightly larger than human sized mech suit that one would presumably ride around in and do all of the cool military stuff that you would do. Fight your wars in your jungles. So this is it's a bit smaller scale build, but the item itself is actually pretty large from what I've seen in like online reviews and such. So we're gonna go with that for now, and assume that this is gonna be a interesting and fun kit off the surface. I've heard good things about these. We'll see how again they stack up to all of the other Kotobukiya kits I've done, and see if again the ones that I've been party to that I have not really enjoyed, or just like the frame arm line in particular, we'll see if those are maybe just that line. Because again, it's I've been sort of I don't want to say down on Koto. I've always liked their stuff, but this may be one of those times where it is clearly a line problem with the frame arms stuff, and not necessarily a company-wide issue when it comes to kit quality overall. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and start breaking out these runners and getting them organized. Although these are tiny little runners here, but sure, whatever. let's see. Wait, why do they have 3 runners listed as C? Let's see. Does this thing have a runner guide / catalog in it? One would think. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so it looks like those are the ones that I just pulled out. These are actually for the weapons, and we'll use those later on. So let's put those aside for the moment. Sure. Yep. Yep, that looks like that's what that is. Okay, cool. I was just making sure I wasn't going crazy and had extra runners running around. And Kodo does love to put each individual runner or pair of runners into their own little baggie, don't they? And we may have to take some of these and turn them into other runner names. Let's see. Oh, so many double runners for these kits, which I guess means that they're going to end up being pretty symmetrical kits, which is fine. I generally tend to go for the more asymmetrical style of kits sometimes, but you know, this is a brand new type of kit for me. Never done one, so I guess this is a good way to start. It's not getting too wild. So we'll see what is what and what is up. Also, I hope everyone out there is having a good day today. Weather's turning colder, holiday seasons are upon us. Always fun times going on and good times to be had. So let's see here. Now this one I know is another one of the weapon kits, so we'll set that aside. set aside the weapons for now. That looks to be everything. Overall part count doesn't appear to be that high, so we'll see how this turns out. Granted, most of the internals of this kit are supposed to be hollow because there's supposed to be a little G.I. Joe army style dude that goes into it. There's no stickers, I've noticed. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. It is clear that there's some painting going on some of these parts in the pictures here, because we don't have anything that's white that goes in there. So that'll be, this is one of those that if you want it to look like the pictures, you're going to have to paint a lot of it. So that is a staple of Kotobukiya kits, it appears. And no major complaints there. I'm not really in the mood to paint it, so I'm not going to flip out about it or condemn the kit for my laziness. But it is interesting, because again, I've seen kits from Koto that are actually pretty darn complete when it comes to that sort of thing. So it's weird when they release these sorts of lines that don't have any of that going on. So, oh well. Again, not a big deal. For an example of that, the Super Robot Wars kits are all fairly color accurate and very well color separated. For the most part, the frame arm kits are, but there's usually a good number of pieces that need to be painted on those. But yeah, this one's just a little looks like there are far more parts on it that would need to be painted than are obvious. All right. Runner's fallen over. Fantastic. Also, this plastic is kind of a weird choice. It's ABS, but it's also a little on the... It's very, very hard. Not like brittle or anything when it comes to, that sort of stuff. It doesn't feel like it's going to crack or split or anything, but it is not wanting to shave down very much. And at the same time, also fairly soft, and like I could bend it but not break it. But yeah, that's kind of leading to it not being overly we'll just leave you laying down out there, guys. Don't really care. Not taking up that much space. But yeah, it's interesting. Nice clear red part for that, I'm guessing a front visor area. I mean, it could be any other thing too, but looks like it's going to be sort of a head slash front visor area. Oh, wait, are they giving us two separate ways to assemble this thing? Looks like. No, there's just two different options. Okay, interesting. Or they're two fully, like you can build both of them. You don't have to build one or the other. Interesting. I wonder if these will end up being hot swappable, or if it's a you got to take it apart, put the other one in, and put it back together situation. Oh, come on now. All right. There's head number one down, I guess. Nice little pre-painted part they gave here. Go. This does absolutely scream of Kotobuki is standard. We don't know how to place our runner connections in a logical area, but it's not as bad as it could be for, well, yet. There we go. There we go with head version number 2. So I'm not sure if this is saying I can use either part 9 or part 10. Or if it's telling me to be careful not to use one of them. Because it's showing 10 going in there, and then it mentions part 9. Alright, so I guess we'll stick that to the side for the moment. I'm guessing this is some of the internal cockpit stuff, since there are what appear to be computer monitors about to get stuck on this thing. Which is a cool little piece if for people who want to get in and really customize this. So that's pretty neat. Good to see that it exists and is an option. I'll say this, these parts fit together pretty darn securely. course, every cockpit needs a seat with a backrest. Well then, that's a lot of things to get in, I suppose. All right. Like I said, lots of internal detail here for the cockpit. Again, makes sense since, little army dudes get to sit in there. Again, I really, really hope I don't have any on me, but I kind of hope that this is the same scale as like GI Joes, or at least close to it, because that'd be pretty great. Although I get the feeling that maybe it's very close given the size of what I'm seeing so far in the cockpit area. But whatever. If I had a GI Joe that I could put my hands on, I would, just to check. But I don't. I think I only own a couple, and they're all still in boxes from various collector sets that I have gotten over the years. All right. Got some little pedals that go in there. Oh no, that doesn't actually connect there, although it feels like it should. Come on. we go. All right, those connect there. Gotcha. All right. Uh, and that's me not paying attention to the what piece goes where. There we go. There we go. Again, some really awful runner connection placement on the part of Kodo here. Ugh, just terrible. All right. Didn't clean up too badly though, so I guess that's a plus. All right, does it go like down like that or more up? I'm guessing more up like that. Yeah, everything shows it going up like that. So that's where the Hexa and Hexa Gear comes from. You can't just rotate this freely. There is actually a hex shaped connector in there. So those are kind of, stuck in that manner. Well, now we have to make a choice as to which head we're going to use. All right. I think we're going to use the one that's on the front of the box with the little visor, because that's a pretty cool looking head. Pretty neat looking little head. But first, go ahead and get this the rest of the cockpit frame on. Again, the amount of, like, if you wanted to get in and custom paint this thing up and, like, really make it look, you know, super neat and cool, like, there's lots of options for that. So many, like, small details here, like these handrails and, you know, those sorts of things. Again, I'm going to be lazy and not do that. This is experiment kit. The experiment being, you know, are Kodo kits universally awkward or just frame arms? I'm starting to think that it's mostly just frame arms. Okay, so is that supposed to connect there or not? No, there? Maybe? Yeah, it looks like that's it. That makes sense. Again, those hex connections coming into play, making it so that a lot of this stuff isn't really all that movable, if at all. Yeah, I think that is G.I. Joe scale. And if it's not, it's only slightly bigger than G.I. Joe scale. Hmm. Like I said, it's a shame I don't actually have any G.I. Joes with me to test that out with, but whatever. I'm sure somewhere on the internet someone has already, and the answer has been forever archived, and I just haven't gone to look it up. Alright, now it looks like we're starting to get into building the outer armor parts here. we go. Do a little bit of panel lining on these, though there's not a huge amount of surface detail on these things, but there's enough. Oh. And again, more of these fantastic Kodo runner connections. I swear to God, it's like the person that designs their runner connections has never actually had to cut any of their runners off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm, if it isn't my favorite government official.
What? It's not me. It's got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm. The
I wasn't
Dungeon
even there,
Master.
man. I promise.
Hmm. So,
Uh,
what you working on?
uh, Hexa Gear Bulkarm.
Oh, that giant thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's not really that big. It's interesting so far. It is. I'm pretty sure this thing is the same scale as GI Joe figures, but I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any GI Joe figures that aren't in a box that I can test that on, and I feel sad about that.
Yeah, well, soon. I've made some significant progress on the bus.
You're doing the Zeta one first, right?
Yeah, I started on the Sananju, but there's a couple of missing parts,
Oof.
and I didn't want to have like a half and half thing.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I emailed Samuel about it, waiting on his response. So I thought in the meantime I'll build the Zeta,
Fair
because I'm
enough.
not gonna get this kind of free time again.
Oh, I'm holding it
Mm.
upside down. That would be why it doesn't look right. So these things, by the way, I don't. You haven't done any of the Hexagear stuff, have you?
Mhm. No.
They're interesting in how they're built.
Mm.
Like the reason they're called Hexagear is because they like all the connection pieces. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are
Hmm.
actually like little hexagons that you have to like. So you can't not align them correctly, I guess.
Hmm.
But it also means that like I don't know. It feels like it's a gimmick that doesn't really add anything.
Yeah, because again, what's the point of doing it in hexagonal shape if you can do it in a circle?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, I get the reason for not doing it in a circle is to like make sure that everything goes in right, but it's like just do it in slots.
Mm.
Like we figured out slots a long time ago. Like it just feels like they're trying a little too hard to be different.
Yeah, I don't Revoltech, the figure company used to do this as well. Their whole line was the ratcheted joints that they had, like they called it the Revoltech joints.
Right. Yep.
And halfway through, their figures just were not selling because they were forcing them into every single joint for the sake of having it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this isn't
safe to
even
say
like
they quickly
ratcheting.
shifted back.
This isn't even like
Mm.
ratcheting. This is like literally you can't turn this joint. It's not a thing you can turn. We just made it hexagonal for the reasons.
Mm.
And I mean, it's not bad. It's just a really weird decision to have made.
Hmm.
But I guess I had to like differentiate it somehow. But I mean, 1/24th scale mecha figures aren't exactly common, so it feels like
Yeah.
that would have been, the selling point on its own. But I don't know, dude. I'm not a marketing director at Kotobukiya. Uh, so have you run
The
into any problems with your Zeta Bust yet?
plenty. The people who have been unfortunate enough to be in voice chat with me while I was building it will attest to that.
Sorry to hear that, dude.
The tail binder has four long LED strips.
Right.
Each is 30 centimeter long that you have to poke, prod, and make sure it doesn't pinch while you close everything around it.
Oof. Yeah, I could see that being more than a little bit annoying.
Yeah. Weirdest thing is, it's not even that complex of a build. Like, build wise, if you're going at it with an objective eye of, okay, how complex is the build, how many parts it has, it doesn't have very many parts. The parts are huge. That's the
Right.
only thing.
Yeah.
However, because you have to do all these things, like you have to juggle like six different things at every step, the complexity just ramps up.
Uh so it's not like it's not the is it a problem with the way the instructions are laid out, or is it a
That
problem with
and the busting
the
itself.
So it's a problem with just like the way the whole thing is designed to be built.
Yeah, that and the instructions don't help. Like I've just been manhandling the entire thing.
Gotcha. I heard somebody join, but I have no idea who it is because I am not looking at the moment. But I will in a second, and I will say hi to them. Oh, it's
Someone named Bobby.
Bobby Dazzler.
Mhm.
Hello, I heard a voice. That is well, maybe he's got mic issues. I don't know. How's it going, man?
Can
Ah, yes, I can hear you now. How are things? Well, I could hear you, but now I can't.
pretty good.
There
Except
we go.
am I supposed to be able to hear you through Discord?
Yep.
Uh,
Just mute the stream.
yeah,
if
you
you're
can.
watching the
Yeah,
stream.
I mean it's either or, but there's going to be a delay if you're watching the stream because my Discord chat is being broadcast over the stream, so you'll probably end up hearing yourself if you've got the volume up on the stream. I'm guessing he's not got the audio going out on the stream or on the Discord, hence the delay.
Like, the way the instructions are laid out make no sense. So I'm just brute forcing it and just like seeing the next 8 steps and figuring out my way how to get about doing said 8 steps.
I I don't want to laugh at it because it's not great, but
Even the
that's a
way
little
it's
bit
done
funny.
is weird. Like it goes from head to tail binder to wing bits to shoulders to base and then back to torso.
Yeah, that does kind of seem like it's a little all over the place there.
Why is it laid out the way it is? Who knows?
Who knows, man?
All I'm saying is if you had 6 arms, maybe it will be easier to build this thing.
Huh.
That's how I felt when I was trying to do the power cables on RG Mark II.
Oh yeah. Those things just do not want to stay in, do they?
No, I ended up using like super glue.
Yeah, same.
I have never done the RG Mark II, so I cannot comment.
It's like a posable plastic cable, and you wrap it in this cloth material that it comes with. So it's like a cylindrical cloth thing, and you're supposed to cut it at the same size.
So kind of
Problem is,
like
once
the
you cut it,
so is it kind of
Mhm.
like the joint covers on the Alex or the
yeah,
full armor?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot worse than that though. The Alex
so
ones
in
come
theory it's that,
pre-sized.
yeah, and it's already pre-cut on that one. Problem is, even if you cut it, it doesn't like it stays in that shape. With
Ah,
the RG Mark II, since it's cloth, once you cut it, all the strands just start coming loose.
oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what paracord is?
Yeah,
It's like, what if you took the center out of paracord and just used the outside?
yeah, that's pretty awful sounding. Oh man. Well, I've got
It
the
is kind of
PG
okay.
Mark II. I got the PG Mark II. Maybe that one will be not have the problem.
Yeah, I still have yet to do a perfect grade.
They
Just
are
throw it and get the
fun.
perfect grid unleashed.
Don't I would no.
Listen, if you're gonna build a perfect grid, might as well do it. Get that one.
I don't. I disagree. I would say start with the GPO one because I think after of all the perfect grades I've seen, that one seems to me to be probably the easiest to build, but also the most appealing to look at.
I'd say if you're going for easiness or familiarity, then the strike would be a better first PG.
True. I guess if you're not doing the perfect strike has a lot of parts and stuff going on. So
The only thing that kind of bugs me with the GPO one is the amount of leftovers it has. Like, it's nice you have an entire core fighter and all the other variants. But still, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to kit bash perfect grade sized parts?
I mean, it's so you can display them in the like hangar. Like I get it. I'm not going to say you're wrong because you're not, but I understand why they did it the way they did it.
Yeah, it's a gimmick thing, and it's just like, it could have been an expansion set or something.
I mean, you know, they're at the time. If it were nowadays, what I would have expected is they released the regular GPO1, the ground type, and then release the full Bernier kits, armor and stuff as a P Bandai release. Because that is exactly how little faith I have in.
That's bad.
Alright, how are these supposed to go on? Like this, I guess.
I've been saying that phrase all morning.
Actually, I am very surprised. So they did the all the big reveals and everything the other day, yesterday, and like almost all of them. There's some P Bandai stuff, yes, but I was actually shocked at the amount of stuff that's coming out that's actually just straight retail.
Yeah, Bandai has been going after our wallets this year. And,
well, yeah, and they've been
I was
releasing a ton of P Bandai stuff here at the end of the year.
Yeah, I was mentally prepared for, like maybe 4 or 5 announcements, but not this.
Yeah, they went all out there. And it's, and it's stuff that, I don't know, I'll probably not end up getting a lot of it. I mostly care about the, like I might end up getting the RG Hainu, but that's only, I actually don't know if I'm going to get it or not, because I'm expecting to get the, I mean, I have the Verka, so I'm like, do I need both the RG and the Verka? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. The RG new just kind of burned me off the hobby for a while, so I'm like, do I really want another kit that's based on that?
I mean, I don't care about that. I am all down for it existing. I just don't think I want to have like a 1/100 scale version of the kit that's really good, and a 1/144 scale version of the kit that's also pretty decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, so this goes here.
Okay, I was looking at the early reviews for the RG Xeon.
Yeah.
Seems like they made all the gimmicks for it. Like, it has these teeth mechanisms, so it has the eye turning gimmick with the head. It has these thruster things on its torso that pop out if you move it. Then there's all the skirt stuff.
I mean, honestly, it looks like it's... Ah! Dang it. Okay, these little Hexa things are kind of annoying. I mean, it looks like they did a pretty good job with how they're making all of that, so...
Yeah, like they cram packed a lot of stuff in everything.
Yep.
It's nice. I'll wait for the Perfect Xeon thing whenever it comes out and just get that one instead.
Are you thinking they're actually going to do Perfect Xeon?
They have to.
I don't know about that.
If there is when.
I don't know about that. That is a... I feel like if they're going to do Perfect Xeon, then the entirety of the Perfect Xeon is going to be the an extra pack. Like, not like you won't get just the RG Perfect Xeon, you'll just get the Perfect Xeon expansion parts on P Bandai.
I mean, yeah, I can see them do that, but for the past few releases or so, they have been doing like twin releases. So if you want, you can just get the expansion set, or there's a full pack.
True.
Yeah, for the new Gundam, they did that. Which leads me to believe they are looking into that possibility of trying to sell you the same kit multiple times.
Oh yeah, more than likely, but
the DX set thing that's going on.
Yeah, the DX sets are getting a little out of hand, but yeah. All right, there we go.
Requires a screwdriver. Oh shit. Let me go grab my thing.
Oh,
Buy
so
the thin funnel effect set separately for the RG new.
you are you saying you did, or are you asking if you can?
Can you? Because I know you can buy them as one pack, but
Yes. And in fact, um, it is almost the exact same price to buy them as separate packs as it is to buy them all as the same thing. But the effect sets aren't just for the fin funnels, so they might be a little hard to find because they say they're for the fin funnels and that's how they were marketed, but they're actually kind of universal for anything that has like a booster effect.
Uh, which pin funnels?
The RG ones for the new.
RG new.
Oh, those are just the 30-minute mission fin funnels, funnel effects.
Yeah, it's the blast
They're not
effects or
like,
whatever.
yeah, they're not
Thruster
like,
effects. Yeah.
yeah, they're not made as RG new exclusive. They're just recycled from that.
Yep.
Like even the Xeon effect parts, a good chunk of them are just build fighter effect parts that they're recycling,
Yep.
and it pisses me off. I'm like, so DX set, you're charging double the amount for stuff that people can get at retail. Okay then.
The thing
So
that
is
bugged
it
me.
like?
Oh, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, is it like this jet effect set?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering about that. I picked it up when I was at the hobby sorted, and I was like, I wonder if those could attach to the fin funnel.
Yeah, they are exactly the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Wow, $8 compared to $60 for the pack.
Well, I mean, if you buy the $60 pack, you're also getting the RG new. So
Right.
Yeah, but
so
if you get both of them as separate retails, it's cheaper. Unless you really want that box art for some reason.
yeah. For some reason, though, I could have sworn that when they announced the RG Zeong, they announced it saying that the DX set was going to be released with the RG RX-78.
Yeah, that was a mess up with the USA Gundam store. They said they're
Okay.
gonna release the parts to make the RGRX78 into the last shooting pose.
Yep, which is just take
Yeah,
the
and the
arm and the
USA
head
Gundam
off.
store just didn't translate. Yeah, I don't know if there was a miscommunication there. The only thing that's exclusive to the DX set that you can't get in other ways, shape, or form is the trigger finger, the broken neck piece, and the broken shoulder piece to
Yeah,
recreate the final shot. That's the only thing. Everything else is 30-minute mission stuff.
fair enough. I mean, I still ordered the DX stuff because I don't want to have to try and hunt down the 30-minute missions things, but
I don't know, like if
like
you're a
I think
huge
that's
Xeon
what a lot of
might
it
as
is.
well.
Like
Yeah,
now, if the
this feels
price
like
is significantly different, where the 30-minute mission stuff is like, you can get all of this 30-minute mission stuff for $5 in one pack, and then they're chunking on an extra $30 on the DX set for it. That's one thing, but I don't think that's what's happening here.
I don't know. There's like maybe $5 different, and those
Yeah.
$5 are the three pieces that you're getting.
Yep. So I'm not
Yeah,
like
it just
upset about it
feels
or anything.
lazy to me. I'm
It
like,
kind of is,
you
but
could have
I mean, if you've spent all this time making those effects parts, why not use them on a kit? Like, it always just bugs me that they have all these effects parts and they're like, yeah, you have to buy them separately. And I'm like, just release them with some kits, man. Like, you'd be making a lot more money.
yeah.
All right.
So, Bobby, are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, I'm currently working on the RG Banshee Norn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You doing straight build, custom? Where are you working?
I'm gonna straight build it first, and then we'll see if I feel like customizing it later. I just got my airbrush today, and I'm
nice.
trying to learn how to use it. So
You'll be fine.
yeah,
It's just, small strokes go across it. Don't spray directly on it. You'll be fine.
I had an extra Wings Proto Zero HG kit that was still on the runners, so I already built it. But I got like 3 of them for $5 from Target one day, so I was using that to practice spraying on.
Good.
Telling you, man, invest in a pack of spoons.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I should get those.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
literally, when I got mine, just ran down to uh, the gas station up the street and was like, "Yep, here we go, spoons."
Yeah.
Give me all your spoons.
But like airbrushing isn't all that difficult. The difficult thing is like those first couple of times you're gonna screw something up. You just have to like you have to be okay with screwing up and not get frustrated at it.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it's like one kit that you'll screw up. And I'd say if you screw up, that's actually good because now that you have done the first mistake, you're a lot more comfortable with it and then you can just go ham. Everything you do on the kit, 90% of it is recoverable.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, that's why I'm gonna, obviously do it on cheaper kits first
Yeah,
before I
that's true.
do a big old MG.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
Also,
but
I know there are some people who, and I don't know what your personal preference is for it, but I know there's some people who are very much on the, well, I'm gonna take all the pieces, assemble them first, then break it down, and then paint it. If you're gonna do that, make sure you look into how to break a kit down after you've built it and how to build it with the idea of breaking it down in mind. I personally just save myself the trouble and don't assemble it unless there's areas that are like, okay, I'm going to need to do seam line removal here or something like that, but I just don't assemble it until after it's painted.
yeah, I think my plan is like if I'm thinking I want to do a custom build on something from the start, then I don't think I'm gonna bother building it first. Uh, but there are some kits that um, I'm gonna do custom builds on that I've already built.
Hmm.
So like I've got my first MG I ever built was a red frame Kai,
Hmm.
and I already took it apart and I started hand painting it, and I was like, this is a lot of work, so I'm gonna wait until I have a better way. So
Right.
And now you do.
Yeah. It's
you,
just, I see so many people who go into stuff and they're like, I'm going to build this first, see how it all fits together, plan it out, then take it apart and paint it, who don't build it planning to take it apart and end up getting frustrated with the fact that that it then becomes very difficult to take apart. So that's where you really gotta keep an eye out. Is
Mm,
like you need to know what
Anything
when
that's
you're going into it,
snug
you need to
fit,
already go into it with a plan.
yeah, anything that's a snug fit, just cut the pegs a little bit or just sand them, either or works. Because once you paint them, it's going to be back to the usual affair.
Pretty much.
Okay, what was it trying to help me do here? What the hell? Oh, okay. Yeah, but did I ever tell you how much of a fan I am of LEDs?
Of what?
LEDs.
They are pretty neat. That's one
I
of the
hate
main
them.
selling points of the
I
Rotoms
hate
I
them
got.
so much. God damn it, who thought lights were good ideas?
I mean, I like them if
Mm.
they're done right. So, for example, the old PGs with the way that they did you have to like run this stupid you know paper clip style wire around the head in all these weird ways and then make sure everything connects up right no, those are awful. But
Yeah.
if you
Now
have
imagine
LEDs that are
that.
done right, they're really cool.
Yeah. Imagine that, but fucking 40 centimeters of cables that you have to prod.
Yeah, that's not cool. I mean, I had a little bit of a frustrating time with that Super Robot Wars kit's wiring in the head, just because of like the wires run down through the neck into the chest, or in the back of the
Mhm.
chest, I guess. And that was not super fun, but it wasn't terrible. But I mean, I'm going back to looking at like the perfect grade GPO1 and like the stupid LEDs that went into that thing's head, and man, I hate those things so much. Plus, the Bandai LEDs are no good either. Like the ones that you can buy directly from them, the little puck ones.
Garbage.
They are
Absolute
terrible.
garbage. I bought one of those. It didn't work. I bought a pack of like Chinese knockoffs. Every single one of them.
I just go to Gundam LED now.
Same here.
Those are so good.
I'm just going through the motions here. So if you know, if the shouting gets annoying, just let me know.
Okay.
It's instinctual at this point. I'm trying not to, but it's not helping me. God damn it.
One of these days, I'm going to get around to
There
doing
we
a
go.
custom LED lighting for my unicorn.
Mhm.
There's a guide on how to do it online. You have to be able to solder stuff, but
Which unicorn is that?
the real grade, the normal unicorn,
Oh, okay. I thought you could just buy a LED set for that now.
the real grade one.
Yeah, I thought there was a real grade, or at least there was a version of it that was released that has a LED component that you can get.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they would do it
Ouch.
because in order to do the custom, you have to drill out some holes in it and stuff to fit wires into it. So I guess maybe if they replaced a bunch of the parts, maybe.
And I think that's what it was. I think the real grade one that lit up was
You're talking
like
about
essentially
the
a statue.
lighting model? Yeah, the lighting model doesn't move.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, the entire frame on it is clear, and it doesn't move.
right.
On the flip side, it's bright, like stupidly bright.
I've never seen it, so what? No.
Lab has one. They shared some pictures way back when with me,
Okay.
and yeah, that thing's impressive. Good thing is the MGEX is brighter.
Ah.
It's also $250.
I also have it.
They have two of them. I was at the hobby store today, and they have two of them sitting on the shelf.
Mm.
And I want to like time it to see how long they stay there. I bet you they're still there in like 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know.
The general community has been burnt out on unicorns. I can't blame them either. I just like the unicorn, so yay, more unicorn stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it's depending on what if your hobby store is known for getting Gunpla, then they probably won't sit there that long. But if it's just like generic hobby store that happens to sell Gunpla, then it'll probably sit around for a bit.
Yeah, we don't have any like locally owned, mom shops around here.
Mm-hmm.
So the only place to get Gunpla around here is Town USA, which is more of an RC store than anything else.
Mm.
That kind of was like that in my area, except even the Hobby Town place didn't sell Gunpla. In fact, the only place I know of in the entire city that had any at any point in a person's store was a model train store. But I think they went out of business because those guys were a bunch of assholes. Like, I went there one day to try and buy, when I was first getting into airbrushing, and I was going to be like, hey, do you guys have, airbrush stuff and other model stuff? And it was these two old dudes, having a conversation about politics or something, which I wasn't about to get in the middle of. So I looked around for a little bit. And then when I finally got ready to be like, okay, I'm just going to go up and ask these guys, if they can help me. Like, as soon as I opened my mouth, they just, like, stared at me like I was the most offensive guy in the world. And then I was like, hey, do you guys have anything, like, airbrushing supplies or, paints or anything? And the guy just sort of nodded at the end of the counter. He's like, all our stuff's over there, and went back to his conversation. And I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Wow. That's some customer service right there.
How dare you try to give us business?
Right. So I ended up getting all of my airbrush stuff from the local RC hobby place, and just have been ordering Gunpla online for a long time. But a friend of mine who owns a board game store
Mhm.
is about to start carrying Gunpla stuff.
Yeah, Gunpla has been getting popular these days. I've noticed it with my local hobby place as well. Like initially, they were like, "If you want something, let us know. We'll maybe custom order some stuff for you guys." Now they have like an entire section that's just, "Oh, here's Gundam stuff."
Yeah.
Like they're that familiar with it now.
Well, this is more of a like these guys didn't like never actively carried anything like this, but with COVID and everything, the guy who owned it
Hmm.
applied for the small business loan thing because he thought things were going to be tough. But then again, he's like one of the only stores in town that is really good about keeping their Magic community active during all of this. So like he's not been hit too hard with all the any financial problems through it. So he's like, well, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna reinvest this money and like get into selling something that I don't normally sell. And he decided to get into selling Gundam model kits. So
Nice.
went out, got a distribution contract
Nice.
with Bluefin, and so yeah, he's really going about it the right way. It seems like.
Oh, good to know.
And his whole thing is like, yeah, even if these like don't sell in store, then I can always just flip them online for profit, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that seems to be what a lot of the, like, I think, what is it? Gundam Planet has a physical store in, like, New Jersey or something.
Yeah, most of these places do. The only place I've ordered from lately that doesn't actually have a physical store that's like specializes in Gunpla stuff is Gundam Pros, and
Okay.
they used to have a store. And if I knew the answer to that, I would tell you.
Awesome. Mysteries of the universe shit.
Ah, god damn it, Kotobukiya. Why do you have to put your fucking runner connection parts on the absolute worst part of a
Oh
model kit?
wow! Fuck these instructions. Seriously.
What now?
So there's like three pieces that all sandwich together, and then it tells you to just slide this one piece in. And I cannot for the life of me figure out what was happening. And then I realized, oh, there's tabs in here. Turns out the one piece it's asking you to slide at the very end is the first piece on which you assemble all the other three pieces.
Wow.
Who designed this?
Like
I
you
mean,
said, somebody with 6 hands.
Ah,
see, this is one of the reasons why I generally avoid buying third-party stuff unless I know that it's getting like good reviews, like the Rotom's kit, which has gotten really, really good reviews.
Yeah, we'll see how that Kotobiki I ordered ends up.
Oh, that one is going to be fine, man. Like I said, I built that one. It is actually really nice. It turns out looking really good. Again, you're going to want to make sure you've got some like if you can get your hands on some Tamiya extra thin cement, like
Have it.
yeah, then you should be fine. It's actually really really nice kit to build. It is one of the least frustrating of the frame arms kits I've ever done.
Okay.
stunning
Good to know.
endorsement.
What'd you
It's
say?
the least complicated.
No, it's not that it's complicated. It's just that like, have you ever done a frame arms kit?
Nah,
Orb?
not really my thing.
Yeah, I mean the concept is interesting where you've got a like a base frame that everything is sort of built around on all the kits, and that's just because they're also doing the frame arm girls that has to fit on all of them. Uh,
Mm,
so like it's an interesting idea. The problem is that because of that, you've got all these weird designs that they commissioned all these mecha designers to do, and they don't always all work um, with the frame, the base frame. And in fact, one of my favorite ones is one of the ones that was like, nope, we're throwing the base frame away and doing completely different stuff. But yeah, so like you end up with this stuff where like yeah, it fits, but like it's really kind of
not
janky
doing
because it's
it.
clear that like it really needed to be its own like kit from the frame up, and it's not. And that one in
Mm,
particular has a few parts like You build the armor on, and then you stick a bunch of bits onto the armor, like the clear parts, and those
Mhm.
have a tendency to not want to stay in place if you move it. And then the
Oh.
shoulder and hip joints, where they connect to the main body, are just notoriously loose on frame arms kits, anyways. So once it shows you where to plug those in, just glue them on. Like they don't move, they just attach in. So you just
Mhm.
want to glue them in place, or you're just gonna have like they're just gonna keep falling off. Like your arms and legs are gonna be popping off every time you look at the damn thing.
Mm.
So just glue those. But otherwise, like that particular one is by far one of the more solid ones they've done. I think the only one I can think of that was more solid than that were the two really early ones that came out, the Stylet and the Basilard. Both of those are
Mhm.
also very solid, but they're also super basic. So
Yeah, I think the Stylet was another one that they had in stock, but like you said, it looked pretty basic.
yeah,
To
that one
check,
is.
there's my progress on the build so far, and just to give you a scale of things, there's my hand.
Oh, that is pretty big.
What is that?
Zeta bust.
Oh, okay.
So that's the backpack for it.
Big.
Yep. But at least with frame arm stuff, you have like a dedicated community around it to help you out with it. With
Yeah,
third
but
party
do
stuff,
you?
hmm?
Do you though? Or do you just have a bunch of people who are like, "Why aren't you making the frame arms girl?"
Uh,
No, yeah, if you run into any issues with it, just let me know, man. I built that one. It was perfectly fine. I kind of want to get there's a version of it that's white and gold and purple. So like most of the armor is white, but like the clear parts are purple and it's got gold accents instead of the blue with the purple.
I think that might have been on there too, but was like more expensive.
Yeah, because that one is the one you've got is the newer one. The other one is the older one, and I don't think they released as many copies of that one.
Okay, yeah, it's on here. It's the frame arms, the Ray Falx, as
Yep.
opposed to the Jagged Falx.
Yep.
Yeah, Galactic Toys has it.
Yep. And they're both exactly the same. They're just color swaps, and I think there's one of them has a different weapon or something.
Gosh.
and it all was the way.
Yeah, but I mean that was kind of the point of it. Like, but no, the frame arm stuff are pretty cool, and but you really do have to do some research on them before you get them, because there are some of them that like you get it and you're like you look at the packaging and the artwork on the advertisements and you're like, oh man, that looks really cool, and you get it and start putting it together and realize that the thing is basically monocolored unless you do a whole lot of painting, and it's like, oh come on guys.
Gotcha.
That was the problem I had with the there's this like purplish samurai one, but if you look at the art for it on like the website, it's got all this silver and like all this other like stuff that looks like it's all part separated when you're like looking at the pictures. It's not. It's not even close. I was a little bit disappointed in that one.
That happened to me with I got the SD Sengoku Soketsuden, the was it the bad guy with the big sword.
I'm not narrowing it down at all.
Yeah, I don't know anything about SD, man, so I'll take your word for it.
Well, in the picture, he had all this like red coloring and gold coloring, and
Yeah,
I
with
didn't
SDs,
know it was just black.
yeah, with SDs, it's always we'll give you the bare plastic, you do the work.
Well,
Yeah.
but some of the other ones I got aren't. I've got a bunch of those ones specifically because I like the Three Kingdoms stuff, and a lot of them look great just together.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, some of them are actually pretty good, but some of them are very much the like, man, you really cheaped out on this one, didn't you, Bandai? Because that was the same way with the I ended up getting the Master Gundam one,
Mhm.
Okay.
and that was very much kind of the same situation where it's like, man, the packaging for this looks cool, and then I start putting it together, and I'm like, none of this is the right color.
The Master Gundam regular SD or the other
The
one?
the Chinese
Tokatsu
freaking
one.
yeah, whatever that is. I mean, I didn't go out of my way to buy it. I got it for in a random box of Gunpla that I ordered.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I got one that way. I was subscribing to this like Gundam loot service. It's like a Canadian loot box thing monthly.
Wait,
ah,
Canada has a loot box system? Which side website?
It's called Gundam Loot. If you just Google Gundam Loot,
Oh, okay.
uh, and they have an RG box and an HG box. And I was subscribed to the RG box, but then I was like, there aren't that many RGs, so it kind of defeats
And
the
took a
purpose of
chance.
a loot
yeah,
box.
yeah. So
Yeah.
unless they're like gonna start sending you a bunch of P Bandai releases and things like that, it's like, what are we doing
Yeah,
here
that's
again?
not gonna happen.
I don't know, man. JoJo Hobby and stuff. I've done several of theirs, and I've actually gotten quite a number of P Bandai and Gundam based limited stuff through their loot thing.
Hmm.
The only problem with the Canada one is because I'm in the, it's like the shipping was stupid.
Really?
So I was looking at, I think USA Gundam Store has like a subscription service of some kind.
Yeah, they do. I'm on that one. It's okay. Um, I mean, most of the time it's you're gonna get like a high grade or something. Occasionally you'll get something kind of cool, but like it's not like you're getting like super old high grades or anything either. Like the one that I got this past month was the uh, HG the Origin RX 78-2.
Okay.
So it's not like they're trying to like, oh, we're gonna send out this super old stuff and call it a loot box kind of thing. Like I got the Marchosius when it first came out, like brand new, like that month with the loot thing, and but then at the same time, occasionally you will get stuff where it's like, okay, here's a HG Astray blue frame second L. I guess okay, whatever. That's a little old, but
How
still
is
kind of
that
neat, I
HG?
guess. I gave it away.
Okay.
I've
I
already
built,
got I've got the master grade second L, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have the HG and the master grade, so I got a friend who
Yeah.
wants to really get into Gunpla, and I was like, here, you can have this one, and they were happy about it. So
yeah, I mean that's a cool design for like a first gunplay. That
yep,
I did the master grade of that one as well, and I like it. I think it's pretty good.
Uh, I was in, so I was basically shopping for the Secret Santa thing. And in the store, I think I accidentally debated someone into getting Gunpla.
he accidentally
So
what?
I debated them into getting into Gunpla
Uh,
because they're just looking around, and I go in and they're like, oh, there's so many to select from. So for some reason, I went all fucking salesperson on them. And the whole thing that sealed the deal was they're like, oh, this is my first one, so I don't know if I want to go too complex with it. And I'm like, there's no such thing, this is parts. And I pointed to the Sazabi box and I went, that was my second kit. I was like, oh, shouldn't be that bad then. And they ended up picking like I think it's the new Estray thing that came out, the P Band I won, or the flight pack or something.
the the
Master.
Astray red frame with the flight pack.
Yep.
The Red Dragon or the
No, the flight pack one, the
Oh.
newer one. And once the whole thing was done and I was on my way back in transit, I'm like, huh, did I convert someone into one?
No, you started someone down a dangerous addiction. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, I think I started in like say May 1st was when my first kit arrived, and since then I think I've done 70 of them.
Jeez.
Sounds about right. I don't think I've actually talked to Bobby before though. This is the first time I'm seeing them.
Oh yeah, he's I don't think he's on Crow's server.
Hmm.
Oh man. So you've done 70 since May?
Yeah,
So do you not have a job or?
I work from home.
Oh, fair enough, I guess.
Um, yeah, no, I work from home, and I tend to multitask. So I'll be building Gunpla while playing video games, while watching movies, all that kind
I'm assuming you also build fast.
of. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not panel lining all these right.
okay, that
Most
would do it because that is panel
that,
cleaning up nub marks and panel lining is what takes up the majority of the build time on the kits I do.
yeah. No, the ones that I have panel lined um, have taken me a lot longer.
Ooh, man. Yeah. I mean, I used to not panel line a long time ago, and then one day I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of my kits not looking like, the what they do on the side of the box or pictures that people are posting, so I'm going to actually start learning how to do some of this stuff. And it's been pretty rewarding. I haven't been doing like airbrushing and things like that for that long, but even that's pretty fun, but it's not something I'm going to do on every single kit. I think there is a point where uh, like you can go a bit overboard and be like, I gotta customize everything. I'm like, no, most of this stuff looks fine out of the box. Like, not everything needs to be custom painted.
Yeah, I feel you. I just kind of want them to look a little more personalized than what they usually look like. Could be something as simple as just putting decals in different spot, but something.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're
decals
into
is
it.
something I've been getting. I enjoy doing the water slide.
No, you're the first person to say that.
Really?
Yeah, water
I
slides
like
aren't.
them more than stickers. I hate
I know,
stickers.
I know, like I like water slides as well, but the application process itself is like, what do you mean I have to spend the same amount of time I've spent building and painting this thing?
Nah, I don't
See,
care
I
about that.
do it. I do the water slides like while I'm so
Hmm.
it's because half of the thing is just waiting for it to because I do the micro set sol or
Mm.
whatever.
Yep.
So after I put the decal on, I put the micro
Uh,
sol on, and I just leave it there. 10
why did I think your stream went down?
Oh, did it? No, shouldn't be.
Just
It did,
ended.
and then it came back.
Oh,
Oh,
weird.
it just came back. Okay,
Strange. Oh well.
no, go on. Go ahead, sorry. So you do it as you go along and then use the Microsoft that.
Yeah, so I brush the micro sol on, and then I just leave it
Mhm.
for until it evaporates, basically.
Mm.
And so it's kind of something that I do with like half my attention.
Yeah, I like the water slide things, but the whole process of letting it sit in water, then applying it, then putting the solution on it, I'm like, ah, God, this is so monotonous.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's the primary thing that you're doing at that moment, I can't imagine.
it's not so bad. Like I don't mind it. I think the thing that I would most get irritated about when doing something like that would definitely be um like if I were trying to get something done quickly, but eh.
I mean, I don't build quickly. It's just that I think most of the times I've applied water slides on it as stuff that's like custom decals that I ordered or Katoki kits. So your Master Grade Sazabi or your Master Grade New Gundam that has sticker sheet, the water slide sheet that's bigger than the kit itself. I just hyperventilate my way through the entire process.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious to see what it's. I ordered the Delpy decal for
Oh, those
my.
are fantastic.
Well, I got them for my Freedom 2.0 clear color that I got from.
Good picks all around. Those things are better than Bandai decals.
Yeah, they're
The
very fragile though. It seems like they look
no,
better, but
on the
they're also
contrary, they
easier
are
to
much
destroy.
much more durable than the Bandai stuff.
Really? Because I did the Bandai ones on my cord.
So you know how the Bandai stuff, if you mess around with them too much, there's a chance they might tear.
Yeah.
I never had that happen with Delphi decals,
Oh,
and I adjust my decals a lot before I place the bonder on it.
gotcha.
Eh, honestly, the worst decals I've ever had to deal with were the ones that came with the Soldea kit, the
Mm.
Kotobukiya Starwing Paradox thing. Like, those were just awful to try and deal with.
Mm. I think that's an issue of they were not cut right. Maybe that's why you're having so much issue with it.
No, it's got nothing to do with how they were cut. It's got everything to do with the fact that they were, um, like, at the end of the day, they're just very, very, very small, like, very thin. So, like,
Mhm.
trying to apply them, like, they were just breaking all over the place, and it's like, oh, come on.
I'm trying to assemble this RG Banshee inner frame before I do the armor. And, sometimes I get a little confused while doing that.
Uh, I've built the RG unicorn frame so much I can do it blindly now. I have almost all the variants of it. I don't have the Phoenix. I think that's the only one I'm missing.
The thing's too expensive for what it looks like.
It is, but yeah, man, I'm in the collector's mindset right now with it. But at the same time, like, nah, I don't like the Phoenix at all. It's a little too gaudy for me.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's like
exceptionally gaudy.
I think that like the Hyakushiki has that same shiny gold, but I think that like the blue and stuff offsets it, so it doesn't look as ridiculous as the Fenix
Oh,
does.
yeah, with the Shiki, it's like a dull gold and it has a matte finish to it, so it looks a little subtler. Whereas the Fenix is a little too try hard for me.
Yeah, no, I like
It's
the
like that
Shiki.
rich kid who got the newest accessories. So like, yeah, we know you got the money. Sure. That's the personification of the Fenix for me.
Yeah,
It's
the
like, check out my
Shiki,
bling!
Yeah.
the MG Shiki is definitely on my to-do list. So
Again, not saying like you shouldn't get it, but still, it's like it, too much of a good thing.
The MG Hyakushiki is a fantastic build, but you cannot panel line it.
No, yeah. That's true with anything that's gold coated. You just build it out of box and you
Uh,
just
that's not
put it on the shelf.
necessarily true, but this one, the Hyakushiki is definitely, uh, like the way that the gold plating is, like the reason that it's got that matte look to it is because it is actually textured. So
Hmm.
it's got a bit of a like rough texture to it. So the
Hmm.
panel line stuff just doesn't flow on it.
Oh,
And if you try to use the panel line marker, which means that you're going to end up doing some erasing on it, you end
hmm,
up erasing the finish off.
yeah. It's
So,
silver base with the clear stuff on it, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I did that on my high grade Sananju by accident.
right. So, like, you just can't panel line the Hyakushiki. So, if you're okay with that, and you just go into it knowing that it's just going to be just gold, just flat gold, then you should be fine. But like you'd actually have to like top coat it and panel line it and then retop coat it and everything to get it panel lined, and it's honestly not worth it because it looks good just out of the box in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, also I find like a lot of my displays, uh, I just bought cheap little like spotlights from Amazon,
Hmm.
and it makes it so that if you have those on, even kits that aren't panel lined kind of look like they are because of the lighting.
Hmm.
So if I had a spotlight on the Yakushiki, it'd probably be fantastic. Well,
Oh yeah, more than likely. But the Phoenix is all super shiny gold, so
And the swing is heavier than most master grades I've held. Just one of the wings. Who thought this was a good idea? Why did I buy this?
I don't know. Why did you buy it, Orb?
I don't know, man. Like it's an impulse purchase. That's all I can say. I saw it. I knew for a fact I won't find it again. I just said fuck it and got it.
Fair enough.
With Banda stuff, at least you know if you don't get it now, they will eventually reprint it. Like Banda doesn't discontinue stuff;
Yep.
they eventually reprint all of it. Some of it less often than others, but still, it's not gonna be like if you miss this, you're not gonna get it. But with third-party stuff, it's like, well, we did one print, we may do another, but good luck.
That is one of the main reasons why I got the Rodems GPO3. Because there was no guarantee that that thing was ever going to exist again after that initial run.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get one of the Supernova wing kits.
I don't think I've seen those.
They're like third-party wing kits. They're kind of goofy looking, to be honest. Like you want to talk about try hard, pretty try
PW
hard.
designs, and they kind of made it even more edgy.
I see.
So it's the Katoki redesigns and the redesigns, those redesigns.
Are those the ones who made the like the Death Scythe has like it's designed so the chest looks like it's exposed ribs and stuff like that?
Yes,
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay, I've seen that one. I actually kind of wanted to grab that one, but ended up not at the time.
They also did like their heavy arms has like a bajillion, like it's got an eagle unit and then it's got an eagle unit on top of the eagle.
Yeah, it's like it has like 6 Gatling guns to go on.
I mean, because you know, more guns is always more guns.
But they're like not stupid expensive. They're about a grade price. So
Yeah, that's basically bootlegs though. It's like they give you the goods and it's like 1/3 the price for some reason.
I thought they got in trouble for basically stealing the inner frames from the standard master grades.
They got very good at getting away with it.
I mean, I can't find them at the only like storefront that has them is that one where I think you got the Rodams from.
Yeah, Gundam Model Kit Central or whatever.
Yeah, that's the only store I've seen that has them. Otherwise, eBay, I guess. But
Oh no, don't bother with the eBay stuff.
well, and it's like $50, but then it's $60
or
shipping.
Samuel Decal. Those two are good options. Or if you have like a Facebook seller or something who's getting rid of it from their backlog, maybe.
Let's go.
Best case is actually Samuel Decals if you know the shipping isn't killing you.
Where do they ship from?
Hong Kong, but with the current situation with their postal service, it's messy.
Yeah.
So you know your usual master grade stuff, which used to take about $10 or so to ship, is now costing you about 50.
Ah.
Really?
No, I'm not paying $50 to ship a $30 kit.
Yeah, because they're probably going through DHL right now, right?
No, it's Hong Kong Post, but it's they're in a tricky situation.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where I just recently got some Gundam LEDs. I think came from Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
most
those guys
of
are
the
based
LED
out of.
stuff and all of that comes from Hong Kong.
So did you actually put yours in the Curios? Is that what I saw?
No, I put in Dynamis.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
So
I got
did you get
of
one
those
or two?
black ones.
I got 2 green and 1 red. So I put the 2 green in the Dynamis, put 1 red.
Yeah, I've got a 6-pack, and a couple of them are gonna go in. They got two yellow or a yellow one to put into the curios because you don't get the back of the GN drive. You only see the front on that one, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I got a couple because I got like I said, I've got the MG. What do you call that thing? The MG new or high new.
Okay.
So that's gonna end up being one of them, and yeah.
Yeah, I need to get more because I didn't even MG.
But yeah, they're. How long did it take you to get yours? Because it took me a while to actually get mine in from the guy.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, he sent me an email actually saying apologizing for how long it was taking. But I didn't really care because it's not stopping me from building or anything. So I wasn't.
No, I get that. I was just curious if he'd gotten any if there had been any changes on that. Because yeah, when I ordered mine, it was kind of the same thing where he sent me an email after a while saying it was gonna take a little longer than normal, and that's cool. And I'm glad he actually let me know. But it was just one of those things where it's like, I wonder how he's doing during these times with
If it's the normal times, then it would usually take about week or 2 weeks, usually 2 weeks. But with the COVID situation, it's like it could either be 3 weeks or 4 months in my case.
Well, when he sent it, like as soon as he sent it, it only took I want to say a week. After
but it took him a while to actually get it sent. Is what happened with me.
Exactly. Yeah, same with me. Because I've got that shop app on my phone or whatever.
Yep.
That works with all like the set various store fronts, and it worked with his too. So
I will say this though, his if you were to just go out to his website and had not ever done any business with him, that is a shady website. You're just like, oh man, I don't know if I should give this guy any of my money. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take a chance, but I'm going to keep an eye on my bank account, and I'm going to cancel any card that looks even half suspicious after this. But no, dude came through and holy crap, those things are really nicely made.
Oh, so good. They're so much better than the regular ones.
Yep.
You're talking about the ones that are magnet active?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one of them just to mess with it.
Oh, they're so cool.
Yeah.
And I actually bothered turning it on.
Yeah.
I don't have to take the thing apart to do it.
Yep.
But yeah, when I checked out on that website, I did it through PayPal, and it doesn't even.
So you can charge back in case it fucks up.
Well, I just kind of do that in general now because I had my identity stolen back. So PayPal is a good way to sort of, help with that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, so I when you check out on his website through PayPal, it doesn't even ask you for an address or anything. It just automatically takes your PayPal address, and I was really confused.
Yeah, it just takes your PayPal address.
Yeah.
He's just like, well, I hope I'm not setting myself up to get screwed here.
It doesn't even tell you to confirm it. It just goes through. So if you have your PayPal set up, it just goes through. The payment just goes through. No issues.
Yeah.
It just shows you, oh, thank you for order. Here's the details for the invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had never seen that before. Usually when I order stuff, even with PayPal, it asks me to confirm stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's legit. I did the order, it didn't have any problems, but man, there was a period of time there I'm like, did I just make a giant mistake?
Yeah, especially buying a 6-pack. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
But I knew about it from another Discord that I'm on. Somebody told me about it.
And I saw his website being mentioned on Zocchio Releases videos. One of his videos, he was like, "Oh, I got it through them," and they described their experience. I'm like, okay, well, this guy watches for it, so should be fine. I think it was a P-band I kit or something.
I don't know. I've never seen him sell. I've never been on his website all that much, but it didn't seem like he sold anything other than just the LEDs.
Oh, he sells a whole bunch of stuff: third-party stuff, official Bandai stuff, P Bandai, resin stuff, your detail kits, accessories, all that shit.
Hmm.
On that
There's
same
also
gun
decals and such.
website.
Like, dude sells a lot of stuff. Like, if there is enough interest for it, he will get it.
Yeah, but does he sell through his website or does he sell through Facebook?
He sells it on both. So usually with the third-party stuff, especially, he gets the information on Facebook and takes pre-orders through Facebook, which is basically like a Facebook post with a PayPal link, and then he'll calculate shipping and then let you know, and then he'll ask you to PayPal that too. And
Okay.
once the pre-orders are in, then he updates it on his website. So whatever is left, he sells it on his website.
Because when I was out there was nothing on his website except for the LEDs.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like right now.
Wait, what? I check his website regularly. There's a bunch of stuff.
We might be talking about different guys, man.
I think so.
Samuel Decals? Hong
No,
Kong
no,
guy?
no, 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 no. This is
This
literally like GundamLED.com.
Oh.
Yeah, this
never
one
heard of
is
that one.
Gundam LED. It seems like it's literally just some guy, like, that decided that Bandai LEDs were garbage and his own.
Can you share the link for it? I'm
I,
interested.
I put it in the Discord.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Gundam LEDs. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it looks shady as fuck, but man,
the hell?
his stuff is really, really well made. So,
Works
Mm-hmm.
looks like in the video too.
This looks like my first website attempt, and I'm pretty sure my first website attempt was better than this.
no, but he's a straight up legit seller. Like, I once I got him in, like I've had no problems with him, and
Just use Shopify to have them set your website up. What the hell is this shit?
I mean he's in Hong Kong. I don't know if Shopify works in
Shopify
the
is
good old
international.
HK.
He also seems like the kind of guy that like wouldn't want to do something like that. Like just judging from the fact that he came up with this LED stuff, he probably is the type that does everything himself.
These are the same LEDs that you use magnets to turn on and off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have like a whole bunch of different modes and everything.
Okay, so this Samuel Decal sells them.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, oh, you guys are talking about Samuel Decals because that's the only place I've seen them seen it go on sale.
No, this is a totally different guy, but I mean if he sells them through Samuel Decals then that's fine, but that's not where I got them from. I got them through this dude's site directly.
Mm.
Yeah. It's like that. I went on to Delphi Decal's like actual website,
Mhm.
and there's so much shit on there that I want, but it's like I don't know. It ships from I think Korea,
Yeah, it's South Korea.
so it's a little bit expensive on the shipping side.
It wasn't as expensive before. Like, I think before, if you spent more than $50, it was free shipping, and it would come to your house within a week.
I think it's like 100, 150 or something now.
Yeah.
What
Like,
site is that?
because of the whole COVID thing, they had to shift to DHL.
What site is that?
Delphi.
Delphi Decals.
Can you drop a link in the chat?
Combing it as we speak. Okay.
But like they don't
So
just have
these guys have some
decals.
really quality decals, and when I say quality, I feel like this is the best decals I've seen so far.
They also sell them on type carry Delphi stuff.
Oh, okay. I know the ones you're talking about then. I've seen those on New Type HQ. Yep.
Yeah, they've been partnering up with a whole bunch of Western sellers now, but they have like a different types of decals. So you have your usual water slides. You have like water slides, but are metallic in nature.
Yep.
So they're like very reflective. They
Yep.
got the hybrid decals that they're trying out these days, which is imagine a water slide, but you apply it as a sticker.
Then where does the water part come in? I guess is the question there.
You use water to seal it in.
Okay, so you like apply it and then put water over it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So once it's like completely dried out, it seals itself. You don't even need like bonded and such.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. And I've used that on my one of my kits. I think this was like an RG or something, and it's really amazing. It's almost indistinguishable from your usual water slide stuff. They leave a little bit of a shadow, but I think like if you gloss coat the whole thing, it'll hide it.
Hmm. So do they make those? Is it just for Bandai kits?
Yeah, so far it's just Bandai stuff because everything else is divided as RG, high grade, perfect grade, all that. But
Okay.
I know they
Well,
take
okay.
requests
So
as well, third party stuff.
different question: is it just for Gundam kits, or do they
Yes,
also
for
do other
hobbies
stuff?
Gundam kits, but you can leave a request, and if enough people leave requests, he does stuff like that.
All
So
right.
enough
So it's
people
not
leave
like I could go
requests,
out there and grab some of these for my Macross kits.
Not sure. I know some people showed interest in it. They said they'll look into it, but I don't know if they did anything about it.
Fair enough.
I think they have some like generic ones.
Yeah, they have some generic ones as well. They do like everything is what the community wants kind of situation.
I see. Well, I
So
mean
I
the
usually what happens is I just ping them and I'm like, hey, I'm interested in these, and these, and some of the times they're like, oh yeah, we can do this.
yeah. I mean the Macross stuff though. You can't do generic ones because it's all of the like specific plain
Mm.
markings. Like all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
colored parts and everything are all water slides for those kits,
Mm.
which is kind of
So
like, oh, well, that sort of sucks.
Screw it. Just shoot him a message, see what he says.
I may.
Yeah,
yeah,
because
I'm
it's
not
one
too
dude who's doing
familiar with
everything.
Macross, but I've seen some of the pictures. They look pretty cool.
Imagine planes that turn into weird mechs. That's the best way I can describe Macross.
Oh man, if you really want to know about Macross, we can go get forged in Hankin here.
No thanks.
They Macross was the one that had that whole weird licensing thing in
Yes, that's the one.
BattleTech and stuff.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay, so if that goes like that, that goes this way. Oh no, I've got that piece in the wrong hole. All right. All right. Okay. So this Hexa Gear, this is yep. This is where I start getting, I don't want to say mad, but at least irritated at the fact that they made these things hexagons because it makes them really annoying to if you put it in the wrong spot to get it out. Why would they do this?
Don't you know that hexagons are the coolest shape?
I mean, clearly.
Have you
Okay.
seen anime at all? Freaking everywhere.
All right. So
I
it
remember
goes
they
into
did like
that
a
hole.
TV show for the Frame Arms Girl line, like a anime TV show.
Seriously, they're making an anime show of the
They
Frame
made
Arms
they made
girls.
a Frame Arms Girl anime.
Why?
Oh, popularity, I guess.
But is it though? Is it popular?
It got popular enough to make an anime, so there's that.
Frame Arms girls. Ugh. I don't know. I don't get the appeal of like Robo girls. That's just me. I'm an old fogey. I get it. I understand this is a personal problem,
So,
but what's that?
what do you mean you don't enjoy water slide panties? Yeah, I'm in the same camp as you. It's like it's just weird to me. Like don't mix the two.
Yeah, I wouldn't those on display.
All right. Okay, I think I'm getting somewhere with these things now. All right, so that's exceedingly recessed. I hope that's correct. This is a very strange build, I'll give it that.
Uh-huh.
It's not bad. It's just, I don't think I've ever built anything that's gone together quite the way this thing does.
Try building a Zeta Bust.
I mean, no. I'm going to let you enjoy that hill by yourself there, buddy.
Mm.
You dug that grave, now you get to lie in it.
Stupidest thing is there's an entire Sinanju bus that I have to redo all of this.
Again, sounds like a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where does this piece go? Into there? All right.
I have a very specific display in mind for my collection, and it is imperative that I have these. Alright.
What's the what would you say is the best Sinanju kit to do?
I mean, each of them offer a very unique experience on their own. If you want like something big, bulky, and you don't mind painting, then the Master Grade is by far the best version. The RG is a very unique build experience. So if you're like me and you like enjoy building stuff, the RG is by far the best one. But if you want something smaller yet imposing, then the high grade is the way to go.
And if you just want something that's really solid, the MG Stein Verka is really good.
Like if you don't like the Xeon aesthetic, but you still like Sinanju as a concept, then Sinanju Stein is good.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that.
There's also a third-party conversion set called the Tatsuhaki conversion set, which basically takes the MG Sinanju. It ditches all the armor stuff and gives it new armor, so it's more edgier looking, and it has a whole bunch of open hatch things. And I think it also has like separated gold pieces. So imagine if the RG, but they did it on an MG.
Yeah, I'm so I did the MG Stein, not the Verkov, the normal,
The NT version, yeah.
which is great.
Mhm.
But I kind of want the ridiculous looking one with all the crazy red and gold now.
Then I'd suggest get master grade and then get the third party conversion set.
When you do those resin conversion sets, do you have to? Is that like, are you gluing it on?
No, this is a plastic conversion. So it's literally you building the frame and then using the third party plastic bits. It's all color correct and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just the plastic bits, but it's a third party kit. I know Forge built his, and from what I'm able to gather from it, and not just from him per se, like a whole bunch of people built it, so I asked all their opinions, and they're like, this is by far one of the better third-party bootlegs. Like, it doesn't have very many issues.
Yeah,
After
third
building
party stuff just in general seems to be getting better these days, which is good.
this a company, I think it's called Effect Wings. Those guys have their own version of a B frame. And you wanna know what's the weirdest thing? They made like a RG new fin funnel expansion set, so it comes with dual funnels, the Amaro base, and all the effect parts with it. For I think it's $12. Now you would expect something like that to have a lot of issues. I did not have a single fitting issue on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's a third party kit.
Well, I mean, like even the Rodam stuff has been like there's been very few complaints about the Rotom's kit and like how it works and goes together. Like there's been a couple people that are like, oh, you kind of have to glue these pieces if you really want them to be secure.
I mean,
But
yeah, but
like,
the word itself tells you that you have to glue some stuff in.
yeah. And the only other complaint I've heard is that, and this is just from I don't remember who it was, but they were complaining that the like running the wires was difficult.
Yeah, but that's true for
Was that
any
Ray?
LED work.
Was that Ray that
No,
was complaining about that? I don't remember.
no, I don't think Ray has gotten like they, she hasn't ordered one yet.
Fair enough. Well, at
But
least
yeah,
I've got two. If I screw one up, I'll be able to build a second one until Forged actually pays me.
when there's this one guy who built his, and he said that the LED stuff is a little iffy, but not because third party. It's just LEDs.
Yep.
So if you paint something, chances are you might break it, but you can easily solder them back. They're just generic LED wirings.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be doing anything crazy with it, so I have no intention of. I
Yeah,
say
just
I have no
leave,
intention of breaking it, but that doesn't mean it won't, get broken.
yeah,
But
just leave enough slack while you're building it. You should be fine.
yeah, that's the plan. And a lot of it, I think, comes down to just like taking your time and being careful. Like I feel like a lot of people who have problems with that sort of thing are not really, actually taking the time, being careful, you know, doing things step by step, that sort of stuff. Not that I'm accusing them of being sloppy or rushing or anything, but like sometimes you can look at what they've done and be like, yeah, you kind of went a little too fast there and just missed this.
You incompetent fool! How dare! And yeah, that's my general response to any time I see anything from r/Gunpla.
Ah.
It's like, did you even try?
Well, I mean, there is a point, and I don't want to get into this argument because it's an argument as old as time,
Mhm.
where like if a kid is just bad, like I mean, it. Yes, there is the argument that you can make that well, if you're not putting in a bunch of extra effort, then of course it's not going to be as good. But there comes a point where it's like, yeah, but you're selling me a product. I shouldn't have to like go out of my way to do a whole bunch of extra work just to make your product do what it says it's supposed to do.
Right, and especially because on pretty much, as far as I know, all of the Gunpla boxes, it says on there no glue, no paint, like on every single box. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Like, I'm not dissing the out-of-box builders because to a degree I'm also one. It's just that if there is stuff in the instructions and you mess it up, it's not
Oh
the
yeah,
kid's fault.
if it's the instructions have it and you're just not doing it,
The
that's one thing.
instructions tell you, oh, pay attention to this orientation or cut this part out, and you don't, and you mess it up, that's on you.
Yeah, that is yes,
Even then,
100% agree with that.
Yeah,
even then,
that's
nothing
totally fair. It's the
you do to a
instructions.
kit, you can fix it.
Honestly, I don't read Japanese at all. I don't usually bother to translate any of it.
Mhm.
Instructions and the pictures.
Hmm. I mean, even so, like, say you cut off a peg because you're not paying attention or something. Just glue the piece in. It's fine. Is it really that hard?
Yeah, to me, a cement was like, as soon as I got that, it made my life so much easier with
Yeah,
building.
just, just get that. Well, first and foremost, pay attention to what you're doing. And even if you mess up, it's fine. You have glue, you have options, you have a myriad of things you can do with it.
Yep.
My problem with kits is when like I don't screw up the directions,
Mm-hmm.
pieces are still falling off. Like,
Oh,
and I'm not like shaking it around; it just kind of pick it up.
hand grenade thing.
And
Yeah.
that's the problem that a lot of people run into, especially with the Sinanju. So if you are thinking of getting the RG Sinanju, that is definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah, and that's I saw it was like Mecha Gecko's view of
Uh,
that.
and so with the RG, I think they kind of fixed it after a while. Because Jabman actually reviewed his this year, and he didn't have half the issues that the community usually bitches about.
I mean, it's also another one of those things where that is kind of a tricky like joint that people complain about, the waist one. Like that and the knees. Like if you don't trim them just right, and you don't like, you have to be very careful about how you're actually assembling it, or you will screw it up and it will be loose. Like that I know for a fact. But it's not nearly as bad as some people, try to say that it is.
Oh, for sure.
What about, have either of you done the gold frame RG?
The Minamatsu or Matsumina, sorry.
Yep.
Yes, and I absolutely love that kit.
I did the HG, and it's not that. I mean, it's cool looking, but it's one of those ones where if you move it a little bit, stuff starts falling off. At least for mine. But then again, it was like the third kit I ever built. So
The RG Matsumina is very, very solid. I had no problems with it during the build. I had no problems with it after the build. The only thing is that some of the parts for that kit are absolutely tiny. Like just
You kind of have to
insanely
be prepared
small.
for that. That's an advice that I give for any RG build. Is like be prepared for tiny parts.
Oh,
You
this
think you
one,
are, you're not.
have you done the Amatsu Mina?
Yeah, the head now.
Oh man, that head, so many
Yeah.
tiny, tiny, tiny little parts.
Yeah,
Like it's worth it in the end, but oh my god, they're so small.
yeah. I had a similar experience with the crossbone. I was
yeah, I
like,
did that one.
oof, why is this thing so tiny?
It looks awesome though.
Oh yeah, like once it's done, it's fine and all, but oof. And I had the titanium finish too, so I can't really be like just jam it in or something because it'll ruin the finish.
I
I
was
w-
really tempted to get that. They had the titanium on.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for some reason, Canadian stores just got it really early, and I'm like, oh, I cannot find a single photo of this being a thing, but this store has it, and I'm pretty sure this store doesn't do scams. Screw it, I'll get it and find out myself. So I got it. It was real. Bandai just forgot to announce it at all. Like literally, they just forgot to announce it. So you
hmm.
couldn't find any information on it, and I had a blind build. And it was fun.
I'll say this for the if you want a good Amatsumina and you don't want to have to kill yourself with tiny, tiny parts, the
Metal build.
and you don't want to have to sell two of your kidneys to get it.
Oh, boo-hoo.
The 1/100 no grade Amatsumina is actually really good.
This also a third party version.
I haven't seen a third party one, but the 1/100
Third party
no
version,
grade one
yeah.
is like
The,
actually looks solid. Like
the
it
third
does
party
not
version
look.
is basically the metal build, but you build it.
If I'm gonna get a metal build, I'm getting the metal build of Matsuhana. The Matsuhana metal build is just so awesome looking, but it's also like $200.
Yeah, I saw one in person. Some store here had it. I'm like, do I really want to spend 400 Canadian on this thing?
Yeah, that's the only reason I haven't gotten it yet is because everywhere I've seen it has been like when it first came out it was 200 and 210 to 250 something like that. But like all of
Mhm.
the places that you buy it now are selling it for like 350 to 400 and I'm like, "Oh, I really want it, but I'm not spending that much on the Matsuhana."
I mean, you're better off just having it shipped from, what do you call it, Japan? Because
Yeah.
it's already available on secondhand markets.
Yep. I mean, it's
Like, again,
probably
if
up
I
on
hadn't got
Manda and
that
all that.
Metal Build Unit 1, I would have probably gotten the Hana. I'm saving up to get the Unit 1 Metal Build to go with it.
Hmm.
metal builds are pre-built figures, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are like premium looking stuff. And before you start judging me because I can already feel it, I did not buy the Unit 2, I got it as a gift.
Nobody's judging you for anything, man.
Hmm.
Nobody's judging you for anything. If you feel like someone is judging you, that's on you. maybe that's a personal thing where you just need to you know, you just need to take a minute, review your personal life choices.
I don't know. I'm mostly fine. Like
Oh,
with
did I
all
skip
the
that on this
purchases
one?
I've done in life, I'm like, I think I'm fine.
Oh, I
I
totally
haven't really,
skipped that.
dipped into my savings or anything yet. Or every time I've bought something, it's always been like, oh, I can afford this.
Right.
Yep. Sometimes it has dipped into my thing of I can actually go out and get proper meals. Like go to a fancier restaurant and have a hearty lunch or dinner or something. Or I can get this 1 mg. I mean, I've been in those situations. I'm not gonna lie, but other than that, I haven't really, been on that kind of a spending spree. I haven't hit a four straight yet.
Man, that guy needs to. So it feels like he needs to slow down because he's already asking people to buy stuff off of him so he can buy a PS5, and I'm like, dude, you still haven't paid me for that Rotoms yet, so.
Uh,
Not that it
actually,
matters too much. I mean, if he ends up not wanting, I can just sell it.
uh,
It's not like it's something that people aren't going to ever want.
if it's like a year or so from now or something, I'll probably buy it off you.
If I still have it. Like I said, I don't know what he's going to eventually want to do with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you for some reason still have it, uh, hmm,
Yeah, I mean, again, that would come down to, if he.
like my current situation isn't that I don't have the money for it. I just don't have the space for it.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It is quite large.
I've had to start rotating them. I have like a Gundam nap time box.
My rule of thumb is I won't have any more than 4 kits on display at any time because that's how limited of a space I have to work with.
Uh,
Yeah, so imagine trying to build a Zeta Bust.
Mine, I probably have like 40, maybe 40 on display or something.
I've definitely got more than that on display, but.
I just bought a lot of cheap furniture from put LEDs and stuff on it to make it cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the, buying Detolfs is from IKEA is usually the way most people go about it.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with the glass displays. So, like, I don't trust myself to not be a dumbass. I'll be just appreciating something in the display, slip, fall on the glass, and then just ruin everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't have any of my.
Like, I don't trust myself with that. I'll get something a little more sturdier and a little more closed, so I don't have to worry about cleaning it every couple of days or so.
Actually, Detolfs are pretty good for that sort of stuff, and I've
Mhm.
had mine. Mine have gone through 2 moves yet and never broken one, except for that one time where it came
I'm
broke.
also a dumbass, so that doesn't help.
Fair enough. All right, so that goes there.
I can't believe the shoulders aren't as complicated. There's that one stupid step, but other than that, everything else seems to be going fine.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. For all the things that, don't have any issues, why the shoulders?
Maybe that because that's one of the main viewing points of the kit. Like it's one of the things you see early on, so they're like these have to look good.
Maybe. I don't know. So, yeah.
The only shoulders I've ever had a lot of the MG Exia shoulders.
Because of these GN cables.
Yeah, like getting them because they don't snap onto the arms, the chest. You kind of have to like fidget them both on together. It definitely felt like I wish I had.
I've avoided the MG Exia. I've got the perfect grade 00 riser. I've got the master grade XN riser. and I think I'm good. I have the no grade avalanche somewhere. Meh, don't really care about it that much. I'm just
They
glad
have
that
an
the
HG.
what's that?
They have an HG avalanche now.
Yeah, I don't. Nah. I'm just glad that they finally are coming out with the master grade virtue so that I can get rid of the no grade 1/100 virtue.
Your days are numbered.
Well, it's taking up valuable real estate in my case, and can't be having that.
I just have the other three, so I was hoping they'd come out with it so I could have all four.
Oh yeah, that's the plan. I mean, that's why I've got the master grade XN riser so that I can actually have a Exia-ish suit next to the other ones.
Yeah, I did the RG of the. Pretty good.
Okay, so I guess they go like that. Make sure I'm not missing any pieces on these. Oh yeah, those pieces. Oops. Come on. There we go. Somehow I totally forgot those couple of pieces. But no, I was actually kind of worried about whether or not we would end up getting a master grade virtue. I mean, I kind of felt that we eventually would, but I didn't know how long it was going to be because there's the extra engineering of having the Nadle inside.
Mm-hmm.
So
have they confirmed that's going to be on there?
I mean, the pictures pretty much kind of prove it. Like you can see some of the parts already coming through the armor and the way they've illustrated the joints attaching and everything.
I still need to get a. I've got the high grade Seraphim. I built that, so I need to get a Ceravi, but I can't find one for reasonable prices. Because I think the high grade Ceravi comes with like adapter parts, so you can actually put the Seraphim on it.
I think so. I don't know 100%. I'd say it's not a thing that I am 100% aware of. All right. Time to build some feet for this bad boy.
I haven't sat on the floor for a while, and it's not fun.
Get up and stretch your legs, dude. Whoa. You're not going anywhere.
So many things I can't really build it the usual way I build it. There's so much detail on it. I want to paint it so bad.
Is it not,
My,
like, is the color separation not good on it?
no, it's all like molded stuff. But even then, it's like they have given you more than enough to make it look like there's actual internal mechanisms in it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it all peeks through at places. Like it has open hatch gimmicks and such.
Ah. But it's not, like, all painted and everything inside?
No, it's just the same gray.
Ah.
Just fine. It's not going to be that difficult of a job to paint it. At the same time, I don't have all my tools here to do just that.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Barbatos.
Mm.
It has a cool inner frame with a lot of detail. But it was like in that gray, or it's kind of like brown on the Barbatos.
Yeah, it's like a machine brown.
But I ended up painting it like a gunmetal. And I mixed like gunmetal, gloss black, and brown.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
I gotta figure out how I want to do the inner frame of my Barbados, because I've got the... I know what I want to do with the outer armor. I want to do like chrome with a candy coat clear purple over it. And then for all the white parts, and then for all of the blue sections, they're going to be done sort of like make it look like carbon fiber.
Okay.
And then with the red, I'm gonna make those all kind of chrome red, and then the yellow parts are all gonna be just straight chrome. So I'm gonna kind of give it a high end supercar kind of look.
Yeah, it's like F1 Barbatos.
Yep. But I don't know what I want to do when it comes to the like the inner frame parts, like how I want to color those up. Do I want to do all gloss black with a bunch of chrome and copper, or how I want to do that?
Yeah, what I ended up going for was like I kind of wanted it to look a little bit greasy.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I mixed in like the gloss black and stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. I just don't know if that's the. I don't think that would work with the aesthetic I'm going for, which is super tuned hypercar kind of thing.
Yeah,
fresh off the
greasier they can be.
Yeah, but I'm talking like if it was like on a showroom floor kind of thing.
It has never actually been driven. It's just there for display purposes.
Pretty much.
Or somebody just spent 3 days cleaning it with high performance cleaning products.
Yep.
Yeah, I just ended up with the Barbatos. I basically just I kept the same color scheme, but I just made it all look metallic.
Yeah, I did that as well. I just made it that, but weathered. It's like they restored it, yes, but there is also like, the whole aspect of this thing's old.
Yeah, mine's got some. I did dry brushing on it to make it look a little bit.
Oh yeah, Ambassador, you remember that one meme Forge made last live stream?
Oh god, are we gonna talk about this stupid thing again?
The Barbados was a strike thing.
Yeah, I saw that, and I also saw that they actually did that in the new battle log.
Yeah, they did that, and they did the joke of nobody knowing how to pronounce Barbados.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. Yeah, so it was Barbie, Barbo,
Yeah, whatever.
Barbados.
Yes.
It's the thing versus the other thing.
I'm just happy that they brought back Captain Zeon for it. Captain Zeon is the best character in all of Build Divers.
I've only seen like the first season of.
I've only seen Re-Rise.
Well, I mean, literally, there's like one episode with Captain Zeon in even Re-Rise, so it's not like anybody gives a crap about him. I just think it's a cool concept.
Like I legit thought it's going to be one of those things that, is this uber righteous looking dude, but in person he's an asshole or something, but nah.
Nope.
Nah, it's just Captain Zeon.
It's just Captain Zeon. And man, they totally made a model kit of his mobile suit, and it is the most forgettable piece of garbage I've ever put together.
Which, where does the Zeonic sword come?
I mean, it's what is it a modification of? I can't remember. It's a modification of one of the seed swords, I think.
Yeah, it looks like an ashtray sword.
I think it's actually a modification of the blue frame second L sword.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The ashtray blue frame.
Yeah.
Because I built the Zeonic sword, I just have one in it.
Honestly, the sword looks a lot better if you just leave it like attached to the back instead of trying to pose it holding it.
I mean, for the blue frame?
Oh no, for the new Zeon Gundam, the one that
See, that's what I was asking. So I bought the Zeonic sword by itself. Because I thought, but I didn't.
It's just big and bulky and awkward. That's the biggest problem with it.
Well, I've got my blue frame. I've got a big giant.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
forever to get that to work.
I'm glad the master grade version of it came with a its own stand. It's like otherwise that thing is almost impossible to do anything with.
The red frame Kai does as well.
I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
most of seed stuff is better with a stand. It's not like it can't do anything without it, but having a stand makes life easier.
Well, I mean, have you seen the size of the swords that come with the second L and the
Yeah,
red frame
they're
Kai? Like,
taller than the kit itself.
yeah, they literally can't hold it in any way unless you have a stand.
Yeah, like you can do like ground poses where they're just holding it, but that's about it. Like get a stand, make your life easier.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what like the one pose I can get it to do in that sword mode without a stand is on his shoulder,
Yep.
Mm.
and it took me forever to get it to there.
Pretty much.
And even then, it's not a long-term solution. Over time, it will fall down or something.
Yeah, well, I've got it on like a floating shelf, and it's kind of
Mm.
leaning against the wall a little bit. So
Mm.
Alrighty. How does these go on? H5 and H12. No, H15. Oops.
So my Secret Santa shopping's done.
Cool.
I just need to figure out how I'm gonna get the gift to the person intended for.
My stuff that I bought actually came in the mail today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I'm still waiting on the box from Crow to complete it.
Mm. Oh yeah, my Crow box also came in. I'm pretty sure you saw me, gush about it yesterday.
Yep.
Like I forgot half the stuff I ordered from him, to be honest.
A lot of people end up
Oh
doing that,
yeah,
especially when it sits over there for a while.
yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I did order this. So all I remember from that was the Pat Labor stuff and the what do you call the Ava stuff? Like,
Uh,
not even all the Ava stuff, like some of the Ava stuff.
well,
So
you
one
got
thing
those the Ava hobby knives, right?
yeah, that and the mat,
Why?
because cool.
Okay.
That's literally what it is. I'm not even going to use them as they are intended to. Like, I'm not going to use it as a mat and knife. I'm just going to hold on to them.
Yeah, I mean the knife looks like it's cheap as crap, and the mat is just kind of meh.
Mat's nice actually. Mat I've actually held it. It seems like a decent knife, decent mat.
It just felt like one of those things, like looking at the pictures and everything, where it's like, all right, okay, fellas, let's see what we can actually slap our
Oh,
IP
dude,
onto today.
not even the worst of it. They have like an entire line of power tools that they did that for,
God, it's
including
so ridiculous.
I know
what is this?
Ava merch.
Like Evangelion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not like gonna collect all of it, but this looked cool. I wanted to have it in my thing. I might just end up using the mat as like a pseudo, display thing. So just have it in the background or have it be the one on which everything else is posed on.
I guess. I don't know,
I'll
man.
figure
It just
something out.
seems like one of those things where it's like, all right, what can we slap our IP on today to make a little bit of money out of collectors?
Mhm. There's also an old EVA mobile game. So you know those Starship games that they did a while back. So you could buy like a figurine of it, and those figurines would have NFC chips,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you can use that to unlock stuff in the game.
Yep.
So they did that, right? But for that, there was their own game, and they had like controllers. So what you're seeing right now, the base, that's actually a controller,
Hmm.
and it has these pilot like small size figures that it comes with. of characters from the show that you can use to unlock them in the game, and you place them on the controller. It also has an NFC chip.
I
Cool concept,
see.
very gimmicky. The point is, I got these not because I wanted to play the shitty game, but they make for cool display options. So I have this, which goes well with the RG stuff, and then the pilot figures are like professionally painted stuff,
Hmm.
and you can just have them paired with their designated unit.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they had that one age arcade game.
yeah, exactly like that.
I actually used to have some of the kits that went with that. I got them from a uh, yeah, another one of those like random box things.
Mm.
Yeah, I heard they don't like have.
I mean, they're not really made to be model kits that you can do anything with. They just kind of stand there, but you buy them for the little chip to play in the game.
Yeah, but I wonder if anywhere in the
I mean, there's enough people that actually really want those age kits though. So whatever.
yeah.
A good chunk of them are because fucking a crow keeps showing them off. I just got all the age kits that I'm interested in, so I can stop now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I got the age one normal, I got the Farshia, and the Denazine, the dragon looking one.
I've got the master grade H2 double bullet, and that's really all I care about.
Hmm.
I think I've only done that. I did the. But
I guess technically I do also have the Build Divers H2 Magnum, but I got the clear color one that came with the Gundam Breaker new Gundam Breaker game.
that awful game.
What's that?
So that awful game.
Hey, that game was terrible in more ways than we can even cover in this stream. Yes.
So I bought when I got into Gundam, right, which is a recent thing. I was like, man, I really want to play a Gundam video game, and I only had a gaming PC, right?
Right.
So the only thing I can play is New Gundam Breaker. So I got it on sale for $20. Worst $20 I've ever spent.
I was about to say, at least you got it on sale.
Yeah. So I ended up buying a PS4 just to play GB3 and
Oh no.
Master Versus Extreme Versus.
I do like my Extreme Versus, man. That game is fun. I don't play it online very much because I'm terrible at it, but I do enjoy it.
I think GB3 is a good game too. Like
I know
GB3
most
is
of the
way
people
better
who play
than
the
Gundam Breaker.
Gundam games. It's just to see the different customization options they have. I know a dude who uses that game simply to test out different custom ideas he has.
Fair enough, I guess. But no, Maxi Boost On Extreme Versus, whatever you want to call it, the one with the ridiculous long name, is actually like a legit fun game to play through. But man, like even in single player, some of those missions are like just trying to get S rank on the missions is like almost impossible. Like there's the one where you have to fight just a almost never-ending wave of gold sumos, and it's like, oh my god, what the hell?
Well, it's like Gundam Breaker 3 is basically like Dynasty Warriors. The Extreme Versus is like, what would it actually be like to pilot one of these things? And it's like, well, when you land, it takes a while before you can, move again, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, I think one of the best Gundam games I ever played was Encounters in Space. Back on the what was it? Was that PS2? I think that was PS2 because it was after Journey to Jabral came out.
I haven't really played any of the Gundam games. They don't interest me that much.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I did play the first
People
Dynasty
like it.
Warriors Gundam. Dynasty Warriors Gundam was an interesting concept. I'll say that. I'll give it that. It was an interesting concept.
Yeah, so that's the best I hear from it. Is like, oh, it was an experience. Anything else to add to it? Nah, it was a game. Okay.
Well, what I like about like GB3 is like when you. So it's like, what if you could build a Gunpla and put whatever crap on it that you. All that crap is usable. So like, if I put a giant cannon on, I can fire the giant.
Yeah, I guess the only problem I have with games like that, though, is that I'm the kind of person who wants that instant gratification of having all of my customization options up front.
See, I am very much the RPG. Let me thing a bunch of
Let me unlock everything.
yeah. That's me.
It depends on the game as well. I'm surprised they haven't done like a Overwatch style, you know, multiplayer game where it's just
Do
mobile suit squad, and then you build your alt and then win the game or something. Because that seems like a no-brainer in my book.
You'd
Like
think.
it's a unicorn, yes, but your alt is that you can go into destroy mode and just wreck everything.
I mean, you'd think. But one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to video games is that Bandai does not always make what one would consider the best options and the best choices when it comes to that sort of stuff.
But yeah,
Like,
but you think about it. Do you not feel like a Overwatch style Gundam game would be something that people would be interested in playing?
it maybe, like, the problem is that they're also trying to cater to the people who want a more simulationist style of Gundam game. So you've got the whatever that one online one is that they have out right now.
Battle Operation.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
like
kind of it's a team-based shooter, but it's like slower than like, I think.
right.
It just feels odd to me. There are very many variants of what you can do with the Gundam IP, and they just don't do it.
Eh. I mean, when you're already rolling in the money, do you need to roll in even more money? Especially when making that money is going to cost you money up front.
Fair enough, I guess.
Still hoping that they can do dubs of some of the shows that didn't get dubs. Like I really want to watch Turn A because it seems very strange. Yeah,
It's my favorite show.
but like I just don't just watch things anymore. I'm always multitasking, so I can't.
Yeah, with Turner, I think a dub would be nicer because of the whole setting thing, but not too
I
hard.
usually only watch subs, but
Yeah, like I get the whole idea of, well, I got other shit to do as well, so. But yeah, Turner is one of those shows that you can't really watch in the background because a good chunk of it is stuff that it shows without dialogue. But I like it. It's so different than your usual Gundam stuff. And if you're sick and tired like me of all the shows boiling down to war bad, you guys, then you'll enjoy Turner. Because it does way more than that.
Yeah, but it's also like it's such a bizarre like concept when you think about how it's like, oh, we're gonna pull all of these timelines together and suddenly try and make them all make sense in the same context.
No, they don't. They just say, oh, this is everything that happened in it, and we think this is all from the Dark History thing. They never confirm if it's actually part of it or not.
yeah, I think that's only like a background.
Yeah, it's a very much like a background thing, and it's like it shows up in like one episode, and then they never touch on it again. The biggest thing that
You guys there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because Orb stopped talking. So
Yeah, mid sentence.
all right, so it wasn't just me. Good to know.
No.
Good to know.
Switching up. Sorry. Doing some Sosby work now.
Oh wait, I think I got this on wrong.
The only annoying thing
About what?
how much space these runners take up, the Sosby runners.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many of them, and they're huge.
That's why I bought these nice little runner clip things, because they help keep things very organized. But then you start getting into stuff like master grades, and it's like, oh, so we're going beyond a Z on the number of runners. Okay, well, I guess I'll just leave half of these in the box.
Yeah, I mean, most master grades, one of the nice things is that each step tells you what runners it's going to use.
That's like a much more recent thing. They didn't used to do that.
Right. And the Sosby does not.
Right.
So I have to lay out all the runners at once.
Yep. Yep.
This is the one that I could have really used it for, and it's the one that doesn't fit. But hey, I got it because I wanted a ridiculously huge one.
Well, you got it. Is that the RG or the master grade?
I'll probably end up doing the RG as well someday. But
so is that the old master grade or the Verka?
the Verka.
Okay.
I haven't even.
There we go.
Actually, I think this is my first birth.
Oh, they go out at that point. All right. Man, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a more Western design.
Yeah, it's definitely got those aesthetics. Again, and I was talking about this earlier, is like, I think this thing is like the right size because you can open it up, and the whole idea is that this is actually like a piloted thing. So you can actually open it up, and there's like a whole cockpit and like screens and everything in there. And all I can think is, man, I think that's the same like scale as G.I. Joe's.
Oh.
And I don't have any G.I. Joes to put in it. And that bugs me because I'm like, man, I really want to put some G.I. Joes in this thing because it looks cool.
Just go to Target, get some. Or wherever.
Oh, I definitely will. That is actually on my list of things to do tomorrow, is to go buy a G.I. Joe to put inside this thing, if they'll fit. Because the only other G.I. Joes I have are in like collectors sets from conventions and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna take that apart just to have a figure in this thing. That's not gonna happen. I'll just go without, I guess.
Have you ever done any of the
Any of the what?
MGG Gundam?
No, I haven't done really anything with G Gundam. The only G Gundam stuff I have is I have the high grade Master Gundam with Funsaki, and that's just because I'm like, I want a high grade giant Robo Horse because I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I do eventually plan on getting the high resolution model version, but I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. Well, I've done it. I did the Burning Gundam or God Gundam. And
was it any good?
They're old, right? So they got screws and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But that also means they're cheap. So that was
Fair
part of the reason I did it. I was like, yeah, I'll do a $30 high grade or master grade, sure. Um, but the reason I thought of it was you're talking about GI Joes,
Yeah.
and the master grade ones come with like it instead of coming with the tiny little pilots like other master grades do, they come with figures of the pilots that are almost the master grade. They're like high grade size, the size of a high grade Gundam kit, but they're the pilot, and it's
Okay.
hilarious to me. It's like I have a Domun Kashu Kaiju.
Well, that's like the one of the Super Robot Wars kits that I've got coming. Comes with a like pre-painted figure to go with it, and I'm like, I don't know why this thing comes with this pre-painted figure, but I'm not gonna turn it down.
Yeah, unfortunately, the G Gundam ones are not pre-painted. They're just all like they just come flesh color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean these things are old. They're like you can tell they're old. They have like rubber parts and stuff. They're fairly sturdy though. I'll say that.
I mean, they're from what I heard, they're mostly like they're made to be like posed and played with and stuff like that.
Yeah, they definitely have more of an action figure vibe than the kits do.
Yeah, which is like really why I want the high resolution one, just because of the amount of like posability that thing has.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they come with so the rubber parts they come with are mainly bottom,
Right.
and so the hands are kind of funny when they're just like flopping around.
Hmm.
But I think the feet being rubber bottom because it seems to give them like more grip.
Yeah, because you want them to be doing like the high kicking poses and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's this like the beam saber part that comes with Gundam,
Yeah.
and it's big as it's so
All right. So this piece goes. Oh, B1. So this thing is odd because it actually like you get all the runners for the kit itself, and then it has an entirely separate set of runners just for the weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of weird. And I don't. How does this piece go in?
So when you say an entirely separate set of runners, like, because a lot of Gundam kits have dedicated runners for the weapons too, right?
Yeah,
So,
but these are like you get the A through whatever for the actual kit, and then you get a second set of runners that start over lettering at A and go through.
oh, okay, that's
So like,
confusing.
yeah, so like when I was first pulling them out, I was like, why are there two sets of A's, B's, and C's? And then I like actually took a minute to look at it, and I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I guess. All right. Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, just my internet died.
We noticed.
Oh well. It's a shitty place, but can't be helped. Rent's damn cheap, so good with it.
I'm still mad about my lack of fiber internet. Still irritates me.
I don't think that's an option.
It's supposed to be where I'm at, but the problem is that the people who ran the fiber to the to my area literally ran it to the back of my property and stopped. And the back of my property is literally 12 feet from the back of my house. And so when and they would call me and they're like, hey, you just moved into this, new house in this subdivision. I'm like, yep. And they're like, do you want fiber? And I'm like, yeah, that's one of the reasons I moved here is because your website said it was available here. So I'm like, cool, we'll send a guy to just get everything plugged in and, all of that. And I'm like, awesome. And the guy shows up and he like starts looking at the patch box and everything downstairs. And he comes back and he's like, I got to go outside and look at something. So he goes outside and he comes back and he's like, nobody ever ran the wiring into the house. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? And he's like, well, you got to contact home office about that, and like they should be able to send another crew out here to get that set up. And of course, this is all going on right when like the pandemic starts and all of that. And I have had like literally no way to get in contact with these people since then. So like I've literally just like they just won't talk to me at this point. So I don't know what's going on. It's like, oh come on, guys. Like this is some BS, and you know it.
Yeah, one of the places I lived, a similar experience with Comcast, where they like came out, they sent a guy out, and he was just a normal installer guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, they never actually ran cable.
Yep.
Okay. And so they had to send out another guy who I don't even think worked for Comcast. He was just like a contractor that they hired.
Yeah, that's usually how those things go.
Yeah, and so he had to like actually drill holes and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that would be what would happen if I ever got anybody to come out to actually install the fiber into my home. But yeah, they've been really non-responsive to me, so I'm kind of getting irritated about it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's no other option right now, like a different company or anything that you can shift to.
I mean, I've got other options, but none of them provide fiber, so it's not like they're any better than the people that I've currently got.
Yeah, we have like two options. One of them is DSL, so that's that.
Will that go in there? Come on. Pull it out there, I guess, maybe? There we go.
On this Sazabi, the MV Verkov,
Yep.
it confuses me because the PC runner on this one is the T runner. The first time. So every time it says the T runner, I'm like looking, keep forgetting it's the polycast.
No, that was a fun build. I remember I spent like 14 days painting and building that thing.
Really? The MG Verka?
Yeah. I took my own sweet ass time. Like I built slow, and then there's the whole aspect of I was not continuously building it, but I was like passively building it, and then kind of appreciating all the detail work in it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna paint it, but I am considering trying one of those like metal detail up kits for it.
Photo etch.
Like the ones that come with like metal vernier, like that.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, for those you'll need like a drill bit, glue, and some magnets.
Yeah, I have a pin vise kit, and I have all sorts of adhesives.
Yeah, it should be fine. Most people who get into those don't know that it's a thing. They just assume that you replace the existing pieces with metal ones. Kind of true, but there's some steps to it. They get it because they spend like $50 or something on getting the thing, and then you have to buy even more supplies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
bought
just
like. I was gonna say I bought just like a couple of the verniers. It was like $10 or something.
Yeah,
Just
it's
to
not.
see.
They're not just plug and play.
Nope.
Yeah, since you said you were new to the hobby, I thought I'll let you know.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Yeah. I kind of overbought all supplies though.
Yeah, man, getting tools is always good.
Yeah, should never feel bad about getting tools.
Like I think I had the Panaline accent color bottles for months before it.
Because my initial forte into Gundam was like just I got the basic Gundam tool set, and I just went ham on buying the kits, which In hindsight, I think I regret a little bit. Like I should have probably spent that money on tools and such.
I mean, if you're just starting out, it doesn't matter all that much. You can kind of you can basically do whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Like, but once you actually start getting really into it, and you're like, okay, this is something I want to keep progressing in, then you buy better tools from there. Because like the last thing you want to do is go spend a whole lot of money on a whole lot of tools, and then you know not be able to use them because you just don't know, like, because you don't know what you don't know, and like you don't want to buy a bunch of tools and then get into it and be like, man, I really just don't like doing Gunpla, so now I've got all these tools and I'm not going to do anything with them.
I didn't make that mistake when I was that new to the hobby. I made that mistake even after realizing, oh, I like this and I actually want to work on this.
Ah,
I I prioritized getting kits because I was finding them for cheap on Mandake or Ami. So I just ended up impulse buying a whole bunch of shit that, in hindsight, I'm like, I don't think I need all of these.
I feel like if all you're gonna do is build like barely need anything, basically just nippers for the most part.
Yeah, with any of the toolkits, I think like a nipper, a hobby knife, and a filing stick, more than enough. Those three will get you way into the hobby without any issues. But having like proper tools, helps. Like
That's
guards and such,
great.
not really necessary. But if if you want like if you don't want to spend a bunch of money, time just sanding and cleaning and such, those are good things to invest in.
I also one of my actual favorite tool purchases I've made is I bought like a full set of tweezers, like
Hmm.
different tweezers,
yep.
all different
Hmm.
shapes and sizes. And what that allowed me to do is take the tweezers from the beginner set that I got and trash the
Hmm.
hell out of them. So they are now my prying things apart tweezers because they're all bent
Mm.
to heck. But then I have my set of
Yeah.
nice tweezers for putting stickers on.
So what you actually should also invest in my opinion, and this is just coming from my experience, is a decent set of um, oh, what are they? I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they are basically a they look like a paintbrush, but instead of a bristle on the front, they've got these silicone tips. So like
Oh
these
yeah, the
things,
cleaning tool, right?
no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a cleaning tool. So if you look at the stream, you can see the one that I got here. But I basically use those for pressing down decals,
Okay.
and it keeps you
Yeah.
from like using your fingernails or anything, or getting oil on the decals or anything like that. And you can actually manipulate them a little bit better into certain positions.
Mm.
Yeah, I just use uh
Cotton buds.
yeah, the Q-tips and then
Yeah, that's what
uh,
I do as well.
the Tamiya ones. Tamiya sells like the conical shaped ones. I don't know if
Eh,
you've seen
I've
those.
just ever since getting the racer file, and then
Mhm.
Hmm.
realizing that it's basically what it is. I've kind of gone the route of, okay, can I get this exact same thing, but cheaper?
Mm.
Yeah, like the non-hobby tools.
Yeah. So like the racer, fantastic tool, the file, but it's literally just a glass nail file. You can get one of those for like $1 at a Walmart, and
Yep.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean
For
the
a long
regular
time,
Q-tips
I.
that I use are
Mhm.
like ones that I just get from like the pharmacy or whatever or
Yep.
Oh
Walmart,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
same.
Yep. That's a good
the
way to go
little
about it.
they have the like Tamiya makes these tiny little ones. Uh, they're like instead of fuzzy, they're still absorbent cotton at the ends, but they're shaped like a pyramid kind of, but like
They're called the HQ tip or something.
what is they call them officially? I just bought some more today. Let's see,
I
craft
know
cotton swab triangulars.
they have like a very specific use, but the TLDR use of it is they don't come apart as easily.
Yeah, because they're not like all fuzzy.
Yep.
They're still absorbent, and they can get into like tiny, tiny little spaces.
Right.
Oddly enough, the makeup section has some very specific tools that come in handy for painting and such.
Oh yeah,
Micro
definitely.
switches.
Yeah, like there's a specific brush that they use for applying foundation and such. I don't know what the name of the brush is because they just sell it as a generic pack. I always just end up getting that, and from time to time, I would get like those shifty eye look of, what's this dude buying? Does he know what he's buying? Like,
That's why I
women, you don't understand the true potential of these things. Shush.
Ooh, all right.
yeah.
So, question,
Yeah.
guys: do I mount this gun uh, on the back of the torso or on the shoulder armor?
Torso.
Yeah. Yeah, I think torso.
All right. I mean, I can always move it later, so it doesn't matter. But let's see how that looks.
Mounting stuff on a torso always makes me think of like BattleTech.
No! Okay. Well, there's a problem with mounting it on the torso. Is that it's actually in the way of the ammo drum is going to be in the way of the shoulder armor. That's fantastic. There. You can actually you can get it to work. It's not that bad. There. We can actually flip this out. There. And now we've got a couple of other weapons we can put together for this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. As I listen to this death metal cover of Whiskey River.
Just been catching up on Gorillaz for a while now. Their new album dropped, and it's just nice.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that I like, but not enough to keep a track of like when their new stuff is coming out. So I'm always surprised when it comes out. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a new thing. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, part of the reason I think that is because it's not like a set band. They have like every album has like a variety of songs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still one of those things where like I feel like if I were a bigger fan, I'd be more on top of it. But like, I'll just occasionally like somebody will mention that there's a new album out, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
For Song Machine, they got Elton John for one of the songs.
That's cool.
So it's something there's like a lot
That way or the other way?
of experimental stuff or music that I would have otherwise not listened to.
All right, so here's something that I really like about this kit. And I don't know if it'll show up on camera here in a second, but the clip that comes with it actually has a single bullet that goes into the top of it, so that when the clip is all put together, it does look like there is a single bullet coming out of it. But I think I put the bullet in backwards. Yeah, I put it in backwards.
Yeah, I like those kind of details. Like it's not going to be appreciated by anyone except the person who built it. But
Right.
I like it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the same way with like a lot of the Kotobukiya modeling support good weapons stuff. Like they have a lot of crap like that in it. And like nobody ever notices that. Like their sniper rifle actually comes with like a few like loose bullets that you can have the kit like laying on the ground, like you can have it scattered around the kit or like holding it in the hand or something. And I'm like, that's so neat.
Yeah.
It's such a cool little minor detail that nobody is going to give a crap about unless you're like hyper detailed and you're just like, I know it's there and that makes me happy.
That's how I feel about the back LED on the. I'm gonna put it in there because I know it's there.
That one is a little different because even if I know it's there, I'll never see it, and that bugs me. Like without taking the whole thing apart and pulling it out, it like even if you light it up, you never see it, and I'm like, okay, that's a little pointless.
Well, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm not gonna.
Now I'm gonna put the back cover.
So something will be in there, but it won't be the good one.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you just put one of the El Cheapo Bandai ones in, it's like, whatever.
It's there.
You see? The cheapo Bandai ones. The Bandai ones are the more expensive ones.
Well, mine are the cheapo. They look like the Bandai ones,
Oh, the Chinese one, yeah.
which work better than the Bandai.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to work better than the Bandai ones if they, work, period. Okay, this is kind of funny, guys. What runner are those on? So this kit has a posable hand, but the posable hand can't hold anything. So you actually have to get this other piece off of this other runner that clips into the palm of the posable hand to actually hold things.
I mean, there are plenty of Gundam posable hands that can barely hold things.
Oh no, I agree. Like it's not. I just find it funny that they actually include this this actual separate part that just slides into one of the holes in the palm to hold the weapon in.
They're just being honest about it.
That is true.
Like they told me that my turn A hand rolled this shield, but so much
lies.
My turn just stands there looking intimidating as hell. It doesn't need anything.
I mean, I love it. That kit looks so cool, especially because it doesn't look anything like it.
Yeah, like even in a sea full of white mobile suits, it stands out.
And it's got so much surface detail too. I haven't paneled it yet.
That one, and I also got the Turn X recently. So in Crow's Nest, we have like a themed group build going on. So part of the theme is building Turn related stuff. So for that, I built the Turn X, and it's not as good as the Turn A, but it's a good companion piece.
You are a dirty liar, but that's okay.
Yeah, the Turn A is actually much more nice in its construction.
Nope. Turn X is a better mobile suit and a better kit, and you know it. You're just lying to yourself at this point, man.
Mm-hmm.
All I know
I can hear it, man, but we're here to support you when you finally decide to come around and accept the truth and let the Turn X into your heart.
It has a design flaw where the whole thing splits. Like it's supposed to do the bloody speech gimmick, but because of that and the fact that it's such a huge kit, it has what do you call it? Doesn't feel as sturdy as it should.
Yeah,
I'm really mad with all things considered because at the end of the day, I'll just have it on the shelf next to the toner and it's going to look cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of my fear. Like I've got it too, and I'm probably gonna do it for this month's group build thing. But like that is my fear, is that since it is a kit that is literally supposed to split apart, how solid is the kit once it's actually put together, because it's designed to literally come apart.
Yeah. From what I've talked to a couple of people, it's like it's not. It could be just my kit or not. But the only real issue that I see that is easily fixable too is the elbow joints. So that's the only thing that's a little rickety. And since the backpack is so huge, it's very back heavy. Like it gives you a piece specifically to lock the torso in place, so it doesn't pull back because of the backpack's weight.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the backpack's huge and has For some reason, they just said 3 giant pieces on the back seems good. Like that was their thought process behind it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's nice, it's detailed and all, but oh boy, like you can see when you're constructing the kit where the original design ends and where the repair stuff comes into play. So at least it's canonically accurate.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had every time I've built a kit that has fight. Granted, I haven't built core fighters yet, only RG.
Oh, the RG core fighters are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I've built several.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I've
just
built the
finished
RG Zeta and mine seems to be holding fine.
the RG Zeta. I actually didn't have. Just finished the GPO1 F full burner.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as people say it is?
No. What do you mean bad? That thing's great.
So imagine
If I-
that, but with the RG Zeta. I was going in thinking, okay, $15 wasted, it's fine, and it's one of the most fun RGs I've built in a while.
Yeah, people were like doomsaying the RG Zeta to me because I got that in that Gundam thing I was talking about. One of the months was
Mhm.
the RG Zeta,
Mhm.
and on this other Discord I was in, people like, "Oh no, the RG Zeta, that's a horrible build." Like, well, I'm gonna build it anyways, and I didn't have any problems with it. So
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah,
thing is, a
exactly.
lot of the people who, like bitch about the RG Zeta have never built the RG Zeta.
Ah.
So it's like, okay, sure, I guess. Like,
the only thing I will say is I haven't tried to transform. I don't know because
Uh,
it looks really cool
I
in
have
robot form. So
I've transformed it as well a couple of times. Hell, I know a guy who has like 11 of them and transformed one under 4 minutes. So
it's like speed cubing.
safe to say it's not like an isolated thing where I got the 1 in a million thing. It is genuinely a good kit.
Like my least favorite from a build perspective, RG build probably the Strike.
I've never done that one.
Yet
The
to build that
backpack is a freaking nightmare.
one.
Like maybe I don't know if it was just my kit, but all the pieces on the backpack, if you try to like separate them to do whatever cool looking thing it does is, they just fall off.
Well, that was actually a much shorter build than I expected it to be for this thing, considering the size of the box.
Yeah, that's Hexa Gear for you.
I don't know. This is the first one I've ever done. I'll say this: it's not like I'm gonna go out and buy a whole bunch more Hexa Gear kits, but this one was pretty solid, and I don't have any problems with it. It is a perfectly acceptable kit, and does what it's supposed to do. As I stated at the beginning of the stream, which nobody was watching, so you guys will get to hear it now. The entire reason I got this kit and built it was because I heard that it was a solid kit, and I was trying to prove to myself that the Kotobukiya is a better company than putting together frame arms kits would make me think that it is. Which I know is not exactly nice to hear for the guy who is about to go put together his first frame arm kit. But, like, here's the thing. Like, I've done a lot of frame arms kits. I like the frame arms kits. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing... I enjoy them a lot. I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with them. There are clearly some challenges with putting them together. But at the end of the day, they are not, like... If somebody were like, hey, I want to know a good kit to put together that, either I'm just getting, just getting started or something, I'd never say go to a frame arms.
I bought it fully expecting that. Just logically seeing Bandai puts out 1 million kits, right?
Yeah.
These other companies put out just a few. Like they're gonna be, there's gonna probably be like a couple little gotchas here or there, And there's
Well,
probably going to be some extra complicated stuff, but that's kind of why I got it, was because like I've built 70 Bandai kits. Like, try something else.
But here's the thing, and this is why I got this kit, is because I've done other Kodo kits in the past. I've done I did the Metal Gear Rex. I did a couple of I did their Soldea that just came out recently. I've done the oh man, what else? I've done quite a few of their other lines, and but I've only done like one here or one there. And so it's always like the thing that when you talk about Kodo kits, the first thing that pops into my mind or most people's mind is the frame arms or frame arms girls. And like every time I've done one of those, I'm like, man, this is an okay kit, but it's just not anywhere near the like sturdiness and overall quality that I would expect from a company that's trying to compete with like Bandai for kits. And so it was just always kind of puzzling to me, like, like, is this a widespread thing or not? And then recently I got the 1/100 scale Wild Worker Super Robot Wars kit, and that thing was an absolute blast to build. Like, seriously, top 5 kits I've ever built. And I'm like, okay, this kit is from 2009, right? Like, what changed? Did Kodo get worse? Did they get too ambitious in their designs? What happened where you've got this kit from the Super Robot Wars line that is just amazing to build, super solid, super easy, lots of customization options out of the box, but also, like, if you just are building it out of the box, it's also, just a joy to work with. So I'm like, you know what? I'll get this Hexa Gear kit. I'll see if this is, like, just the frame arms line. And I'm starting to be more and more convinced that it is just the frame arms line, that they just, don't, like, I guess because they're trying to make them as customizable as possible, that they're not putting as much effort up front into them. But, like, every other Kotobukiya kit I've built has been, like, just from a build quality perspective, superior to any of the frame arms kits I've built. Which isn't to say frame arms are bad, but, like, it's, like, night and day working on, like, this thing versus working on a frame arms kit of the same scale and price. Like, this thing just beats all the frame arms kits when it comes to how solid the build is, how, accessible the instructions are, how tight everything is, how it all fits together. Like, I don't want to get into aesthetics because, everybody has their tastes when it comes to things. Some people aren't going to like the fact that this thing is basically, a Western style grunt kind of mech. But, like, it's just a solid build that reminds me that Kodo can do really, really good stuff. And I think, honestly, the biggest fault of the frame arms kits is that they are trying to be, like, super extendable with all of the MSG parts, and they have to make them work with the frame arms girls, and, like, there's all these, like, things that they're doing with them that make them not as solid as they could be. Because, yeah, this kit, again, proves that Kodo can do really, really good stuff. It's just frame arms doesn't feel like that's one of the, like, things that they are concentrating on when it comes to, doing good stuff. It's just kind of bizarre to me.
Yeah.
And, like, again, I'm not trying to scare you off from the frame arms kit. It is a perfectly fine kit. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bashing frame arms all over the place, but, like, just, I don't know. They just don't compare. I would much rather do one of these than a frame arms kit these days. That's why I bought the other two 1/100 frame arms kits. Or not frame arms, but Super Robot Wars kits. Because, like, they're phenomenal to build. They're just fun. They're innovative. Like, the joints and the way they all go together are really cool. And it's just like, frame arms are just kind of like, okay, here's a frame, slap a bunch of armor on it. Maybe it will stay on.
Yeah, I expected it to be a little bit janky when I bought it.
And they
It's
look
not
cool.
really a terrible surprise. Oh, that's the thing too. Is like when I looked at the pictures of it, I'm like, this thing looks dope.
Yeah,
it also looks like it's holding together on a wish and a prayer.
That one is not nearly as bad as some of the other ones. Oh god, what was the one? I actually threw a couple away. Not after I moved because they broke while moving, and I was like, I'm not going to go through the process of repairing these. But there's some of those that are just absolutely awful. Although I think the one that I've built that's the most solid is the Shadow Tiger. And like I really like them. They look cool. It's clear that they like put a lot of effort into the designs because they get the the big name mecha designers to put in the designs and all that. But man, there's a certain part about them that I'm just kind of like,
maybe quality test them.
it's not even that. I honestly think that it has more to do with the fact that they're trying to make them as customizable as possible. Because like the entire thing is like you can take all the armor off of the frame arms kits and put them on the frame arms girls. So like of course there's going to be like this element of like, okay, things kind of need to be a little bit more flexible, but I think it makes it a worse product in general just because of that.
So you're just saying it's a flawed concept and there's no real way of doing it without sacrificing a whole bunch of structural issues.
I think there are better ways of doing it. I also think there's a little bit of I think the way they advertise the frame arm kits are also not fantastic, because you get some of them where you look at the box art and everything and it is like almost completely different than what it looks like out of the box. And I get it. Like there is some expectation of needing to paint and everything on some of these kits, and you should never go into a kit expecting it to look just like it looks coming out of the box. But the amount of difference in some of these kits is just like, okay, why I would have to spend days detailing this thing. And like that's not always a bad thing. Like there's some, like as long as you're aware that that's what you're getting into, it's fine. But sometimes I look at it and I go, yeah, you just straight up lied on how this thing looks. Like even these parts don't even match. I don't know what you're trying to do here. And I think that's where like kind of gets me with some of the frame arms kits, is that it's like they have a good concept and a really cool idea and they think they could pull it off, but it's clearly the idea of the frame arms kits as a whole, as a kit, is clearly secondary to the idea of the frame arms girls and making sure everything is compatible with the frame arm girls. Like, because that seems to me where the whole frame arms thing is getting its money, because you see way more of the frame arm girls kit these days than you do actual frame arms. And if they announce a frame arms kit, it's very, very quickly followed by, oh, and by the way, here's the girls version. Because, Robo panties sell, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Just like panty.
not my cup of tea, that one. But you know what I would like is a Zone at the Ender.
Oh yeah.
Kodo made those. They made some,
And
like, if you...
immediately forgot about it too.
I mean,
never
yeah.
sent them.
I actually asked Crow about selling his Jehudi that he's got, and he was like, no. And I'm like, then don't show me pictures of it. Get out of here with this nonsense.
Yeah, he keeps doing that. He's like, oh, I want to get rid of all of this. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not selling all of this.
Oh man, I
Make
did
up
that.
your mind, bitch.
That happened today. He's like, he posted all those pictures in Marketplace, and I'm like, man, there's actually like some stuff here that I'd like to get. Do you want me to just like make up a list and you can tell me what you want for it? And he's like, sure. So I made up all this list, and it was like the Jehudi, the Rockman and the Zero kits from Kodo, one of the what are they? I can't remember. It's one of the other Kodo kits, and then a few of the like not perfect grade, but P Bandai and 7-Eleven kits that he had in there from Bandai, and I sent all that, and he's like, yeah, the only thing I'd be willing to sell is the Rockman. And I'm like, so why did you even post the pictures of this stuff, dude? You're killing me, man. You're killing me. But I get it. Like, the stuff that I was asking for is like the P Bandai Crossbone or RGX2 and, stuff that's actually pretty hard to get.
They're going to put it on display anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's
we've been memeing him for holding on and not building the MG perfectibility for about a year and a half now.
I don't blame him for not building the MG perfectibility. I've heard that kid is garbage.
Yeah, still want him to build it.
Anyways, but yeah, like I don't know. Kodo's just a weird company where they like their Zoids line. is apparently real solid from what I've heard. So it's like, I know they can do really good stuff. I know they can. I keep wanting them to do better frame arms, so I keep buying them. And then I don't want to say I'm disappointed in them, but it's definitely like, man, I feel like I could have bought a better kit. But again, there are some exceptions there. Like the Jacked Fox that you're getting, dude, is like, that's a really solid one. That's one of my favorites. The Wilbur 9, for what it is actually really cool because it transforms into a cool motorcycle, so that's pretty neat. The Shadow Tiger is actually really solid, and I mean, it gets points for being designed by the same guy who designed the Metal Gear figures, the Metal Gears.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. The Baselard and the Stylet, all the versions of those are generally pretty solid, but the ones that I've had the most problems with are like the ones that half turn into a boat. I built one of those, and I'm like, nope, this is garbage, and like just put it in a box and put it back on my shelf when I got done. And then what was the other one that I built that I was just real disappointed in? Oh yeah, the red samurai looking one. Like, that's one of the ones where, like, the pictures on the box and what you actually build look nothing like each other. Because basically there's like a few silver pieces, and then there's like the clear blue, and then everything else is that red color. And if you look at the pictures, it's like, man, there's like all this cool like silver highlights and accents and like pieces and everything. And it's all part separated, but it's not color accurate to anything that's on the box or the instructions. And it's like, and I'm like, what the heck? You have the silver.
Yeah, you went through the effort of actually separating the parts, but not,
Right.
printing them in the colors. What the hell?
Exactly. Like, that's what irritated me about it, because I'm like, okay, clearly you had an opportunity here. You knew what you were trying to do, and then just didn't do it. So, oh well. I mean, I'm not like overly upset about it. I actually, Kodo they are a good company. I understand the purpose of the frame arms kits, which are to promote frame arms girls, and but they still do other really cool stuff. I think their modeling support goods stuff is really cool. I think their like the freight. I really hope that they continue the Super Robot Wars stuff. I think they still have the license for it, because they just put out a kit in 2018 that was the Raft Arms Falnia, or Raft Clans Farnia, which is the first Super Robot Wars kit I got, and it is just amazingly fun to build. And then I picked up the 1/100 scale ones more recently. And, they do good stuff. And I just wish they'd do less girl kits and more Robo kits that aren't frame arms. And to an extent, Hexa Gear, I guess the thing with Hexa Gear is, like, I feel like even though I built this cool looking robot and it looks awesome, that I still need to get a G.I. Joe to put inside of it to see if it actually fills it out a little bit more. Like, it's okay on its own, but I really do want to put a G.I. Joe in here so bad, because it is clearly made to have a G.I. Joe in here. Like,
Do they even sell G.I. Joes anymore? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, dude, totally. That's why I'm gonna go to Target tomorrow and be like, give me a G.I. Joe, and I want a cool one. I want Snake Eyes to put in this thing.
Hey, while you're there, keep an eye out, see if they have any Gunpla. My MG Barbatos, I got it for $25 from Target.
Yeah, I'm gonna look. I've heard that they started that the company started carrying them, but I haven't seen any in person yet. So
they started selling it and they don't know the price for it. Wow.
It was because I scanned it because they have scanners. I scanned it and it said regular price $50.
Oh, so they have sale. Okay, no mind.
That's sale. And then I also got, they were selling these HG Wing Proto Zero kits, $5 a piece. So I bought 3 of them.
Nice.
Why not? I figured I could mess with them, customize.
Yep, exactly.
yeah, I'll keep my eyes open for them. I had heard that they were doing more of it. I haven't seen any in my local Target, but then again, I haven't actually been going out and looking for that sort of stuff lately anyways. So
fair enough.
I mean, most of the stores around me, even like stores.
right.
So, but I did just get a RG Zegok today. I'll build that after the Banshee Norn.
Yeah, let me know how the Banshee Norn is. I've got that on my backlog, but haven't put it together yet. So,
I mean, it looks cool, and if it's as good as our regular RG Unicorn,
It's basically that with different head.
yeah.
Well, I haven't done the
dollars.
regular RG Unicorn either, so.
Just make sure you're following the instructions. Be careful with the shoulders. Everything else is just generic Gundam affairs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of like small pieces because of the transformation.
Right.
So panels that would be like one solid 6 tiny panels. But it's really cool.
You have to break the circuit board. Okay.
Huh. Have fun with
Yeah,
that.
they gave you like a big circuit board, and you're supposed to break it in pieces before using it.
Makes sense. That's actually not too uncommon.
I haven't really done any circuit board stuff yet, so this should be fun.
Well, now's the time. Buy yourself a soldering iron.
Do I just do it like a chip and break it, or do I use like pliers and such?
I would look up some tutorials online just to make sure you're doing it correctly, because depending on how it is actually put together, depends on the best way to break it apart. I might have to buy another bulk arms. Get one of the different types with different weapons. This thing's actually pretty neat.
Do they have like, say this is the jungle type, do they have like an aquatic type or?
They have several different ones. There's like one that's kind of a tan color. I don't know what it's called, but they do have. Then there's the Bulkarm Alpha, which is what this one is, and then there's the betas as well. I don't know what the overall difference is, but there is a difference.
Oh, you just break it as a toothpick. Good.
Oh, you just like grab it in both hands and just snap?
Yep. Yeah, I just did that and it broke cleanly.
Fair enough.
Just sand one of the sections down, so I'm sanding a circuit board.
Be careful. There's a layer inside of that circuit board that you cannot see. That if you mess it up, it screws up the whole circuit.
Oh well, too late now.
I got it the building keyboard.
Not like aggressively sanding it, I just lightly sanded it so there are no excess parts. Because I just broke it, so I'm assuming those are like circuit nubs. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay.
Alright, guys. Well, I think I'm going to call it an evening here for this stream. I'm finished with this here build, and until I go and get the G.I. Joe to put in it tomorrow, and then if it fits, heck yeah, totally going to take more pictures, because that'd be great.
Yeah. Alright, cool. Catch you later.
Yep, thanks for hanging out on the stream, folks.